Good afternoon. My name is Dr. Umar Johnson, and I am a school psychologist and doctor of clinical psychology. In addition to that, I hold degrees in political science and education. I am here at the historic St. Paul's College. This beautiful campus, 135 acres of which I hope to make the Frederick Douglass and Marcus Garvey RBG International Leadership Academy for African children. I want this school to be a blueprint.
He is coming, FDMG 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 is coming, it's 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 coming, oh, it's coming. FDMG is coming, FDMG is coming. Thought his personality be twerking, it's twerking.
All right. Thank you guys so much for your patience here today. Hope you all doing all right. We got quite a bit to get into. I'm going to try to get this done in 2 hours. Okay. Yesterday, I said we're going to have a short show. Obviously, it didn't go short. It actually went quite long, but it is what it is. I apologize for technical difficulty too with this intro. It didn't work out quite the way that I wanted, but FDMG is not coming, so I guess it really doesn't matter. All right. Shout out to everyone inside the Cook Crush chat. Thank you guys so much. I want to thank everyone too who's been supportive of the YouTube page and supportive of me and my family. I really do appreciate it. I want to thank the mods too. Special appreciation and gratitude to you guys. You guys have been doing a fantastic job for a very long time, and I appreciate y'all. I really do. Today, what's on the agenda is I want to get to an interview that Umar did on the 17th, which was 4 days ago. I've edited, full disclosure, I edited out maybe about 4.5, maybe 5 minutes of it. Was it 5 minutes? Okay, I think it was 5 or 7 minutes. I can't remember. And what it was the intro of the video. And I start right when Umar is actually being interviewed. And then also there's some commercials that I actually edited out too, where they have silence. And actually they're talking while the commercial is going. I edit those out because I want to give full disclosure. I'm always play videos without any changing of anything. It's an integrity thing, unless I'm editing out dead silence, if that makes sense to people. So just be aware of that when we get into that video. Also, I think it was Black Wolf who yesterday asked for me to play Umar Johnson when he was on a Christian radio show, and he ended up getting real belligerent, and he ended up calling the Christian radio show host some derogatory names. I do have that particular, it's not a video, it's audio, but I have like this graphic on top of it. I want to play that to start. It's probably going to take about maybe 10 minutes to get through it. And then I think it was Black Wolf who had also, I think it was Black Wolf, it might have been Lewis Luck, I can't remember. But they had also asked for me to find the video where Umar was asking for $2 donations. I couldn't find that one, but I have videos where Umar is asking for $1. I have where he's asking for $5. Videos and screenshots on his Facebook page when he was raising money for the St. Paul's College. Also have Umar saying that he would take pennies just to go to show you. It's always been about the money with this. I think more and more people are waking up. More and more people are criticizing Umar for the shenanigans. And interesting enough, he's been doing, I don't know if you want to call it lectures or not, but it's more like entertainment. It's almost as if he's become like, he's become like a stage show. I'll dare say it's like a minstrel show. And I saw the intro to one of the videos today, and he's like, when he starts, this young people are in the audience. So the wisdom is not there. The discernment is not there. They're looking for entertainment. They don't take Umar seriously. And the way that he comes out on stage, it's almost as if he's like some sort of a character, like a buffoonish character. I found it to be quite fascinating. Umar's and he's dealing with some very serious situations right now. And I think as a consequence, he's spending more time trying to get onto college campuses as opposed to doing anything else. All right. So I want to start off with an interview this is from 2020, February 2nd of 2020. I'm going to skip to the part that near the part where Umar starts to go off, but the context is he's being interviewed on a Christian radio show host. So just keep that in mind. All right, here we go.
Murdered by a person. Give me context.
By the way, this was in reference to I think it was Botham Jean's murder and the idea of forgiveness. So I'll start right here. Here we go.
Right after they forgave Amber Geiger, another police officer in the same state murdered another sister in her house as well. Do you not understand how we create precedent with our behavior that affects the entire race? If what he said only affected him and his family, it would be acceptable. But what he said influenced a subsequent murder in his own area, my brother. We have to be responsible with our behavior, because what you do, what I do, affects all of us.
Hey, check this out. I got a brother. My brother was killed. My brother was killed in 2011. My family, we forgave the person that killed my brother. What are you saying to me?
Was your brother murdered by the police? Was he murdered by a black person? Was he murdered by a white person? Give me context.
Black person.
Okay. A black person murdered your brother. Under what pretense? Was it drugs? Was it accidental? Was it a fight?
Robbery.
What was the pretense?
Robbery. Yeah, and we forgave that person. So what are you saying to me?
And y'all forgave the person.
Right.
Who was black.
Right.
Guess what? I take no issue with what y'all did.
Okay, so what Umar is saying here is that if a black person kills another black person, then yeah, we should forgive. But if a white person kills a black person, then we shouldn't forgive.
Take no issue with what y'all did. You know why? Because there is a whole story behind that brother who became that killer. He was a black male who suffered structural racism in the form of miseducation, economic castration, who knows what he went through personally in his own life, psychologically, and it was those circumstances into which he was born, over which he had little control, that led to that murder. And your family understanding that and understanding the need for black people to forgive.
No, that's not the reason we did it. The reason we did
it.
No, the reason we chose to forgive is because it's a Christ-like thing to do. It has nothing to do with making an excuse to how the brother was grown up.
Listen to me. You forgiving a member of the African family is totally different than forgiving a killer who is part of a machine who has a deliberate agenda to assassinate black life. Those are two different things. You are confusing an individual black man's mistake with an entire system's agenda to exterminate Africans.
Now, I don't make an excuse.
You are mixing apples and oranges. Stop trying to use Jesus and Christianity as an excuse for Negroes to coon in public and make excuses for behaviors that are politically irresponsible, that have consequences for all of us, black man. So come on, brother.
So we're supposed to hate them.
You care about your people more than that. Come on.
So we're supposed to hate them, even though they've wronged us. We don't agree.
The word hate. So why did you say that?
Because when you don't forgive a person,
why did you just bring up the word hate?
Because let me answer why I brought up hate. Let me answer why I brought up hate. When you don't forgive a person and you harbor unforgiveness in your heart, that leads to what? Hate. So I'm just saying, why would I want to walk around? I don't forgive people. Listen to this. Listen to this, Dr. Umar. I don't forgive people for people. I forgive people for me. It's for my peace.
Brother, come on. Let me deal with what you just said. You said if you don't forgive a person, it can turn into hate. First of all, I don't agree that not forgiving someone automatically turns to hate. I do not agree with that. Second of all, we're not talking about an individual, my brother. We're talking about an institution. The United States Police Force is an institution that was created in the days of slavery to patrol and control Negro behavior so that it does not become a threat to the power structure. We're not talking about an individual. Amber Geiger was not acting as an individual. She was acting as part of a machine whose intent is to eliminate black life, brother.
Hey, let me show you this.
Apples and oranges.
All right, let's put apples to apples then, okay? Let's look at it from
Make sure it's apples to apples now.
Okay, let's look at it from my narrative. You say that Amber Guyger was acting on behalf of an institution. Well, let's look at the people that crucified and killed Jesus, who was acting also on behalf of an institution. It was not just one man that wanted Jesus killed. It was an institution. Jesus yet still forgave the institution.
Turned him into the white man.
He
Jesus
forgave
murdered,
the institution.
Malcolm and King and everybody else was murdered. A group of coons, okay? It was the elder Hebrews who turned that brother into the devil to be massacred. That is nothing new. We've seen it play over and over and over again. So what are you saying? We're supposed to forgive the murderers of our leaders? Huh?
It's not that.
No, sir.
It's not that.
That is politically effeminate behavior.
It's not that we're making an excuse or we're justifying their behaviors, but we do have to come to a place of forgiveness. That's the right thing to do,
sir.
Dr.
You do
Umar.
not forgive enemies. No, sir. You forgive within your race because your race is not your enemy. No matter what you do to you, my brother.
So you're going to die harboring unforgiveness.
But for a police,
you're going to die.
Assassinations are not accidents. Police assassinations are not accidents. Police assassinations are not accidents.
The people who killed my brother wasn't an accident.
If you followed the Amber Guyger trial, you would know that right after she murdered Botham Jean, she expressed no remorse for the murder at all. Did you see the text messages? Did you see the phone calls that she made, my brother? She wasn't sorry for what she did. She even made racially hostile comments about black folk.
And
they don't give a damn about us.
And that's why we don't justify.
Around like you, forgiving killers of black folks is why they're going to keep on killing us, because they know they can get away with it and be forgiven before they even commit the act. Come on, brother. Come on.
I disagree with you, Dr. Umar, but let's move to something else. Because you had
and
said,
that's why we need the Frederick Douglass Marcus Garvey Academy. Because you was conditioned to believe that way. Botham Jean's brother was conditioned to believe that way.
That's right.
See,
you're right.
That mindset is a byproduct of public school and Sunday school. It is the black church and the white public school who are in cahoots with each other to brainwash every black male in this country and turn us all into politically effeminate Negroes.
Yeah, but they're not going to be able to turn every one of us into that. And also, even for those
comments you just made was politically effeminate.
No. I think that's
your. You gotta forgive police killings, brother. They've been killing us for 400 years. Are you out of your mind? You got that much forgiveness in your heart that you forgave every single one? Everyone since the beginning of time. And the sad thing is,
how many times shall you forgive your brother?
That's not benevolence, brother.
How many times? 70.
The man's supposed to protect the community, brother. The men are supposed to protect the community. If you running around forgiving the killers, who gonna protect our women and kids? You out there forgiving. Don't nobody be forgiving on a war field, brother. Come on. We going into 2020. We got the.
And essentially, Umar doesn't even take care of his own children, and he's spoken so poorly about black women on extreme levels. All right, such a hypocrite.
Wake up and change that nonsense. We love everybody but ourselves.
I think the biggest difference is that my beliefs are built upon Christ's principles.
Your religious beliefs,
exactly,
are blinding you to our political reality. That's all it is.
I mean, you could say that because you don't understand.
Your religious beliefs.
You don't understand my views
to our political reality
because you're not a Christian.
You don't understand white supremacy, because if you did, you would know that the Bible has no place in how we deal with racism, because the Bible does not address racism. We have to address racism.
Yeah, but
I don't need a 2,000-year-old book to tell me how to survive and protect my people.
You gave a lot of respect to Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. earlier, and he built the civil rights movement was precedent upon what? What did Dr. King teach? What did he teach? The Bible.
What did he teach?
The Bible.
I ain't got a problem with the Bible, brother. Marcus Garvey was a Christian. Bishop Henry McNeil Turner was a Christian. Henry Highland Garnett was a Christian. I'm giving you the fathers of Pan Africanism. They was all men of the church. But they wasn't running around forgiving Ku Klux Klan. They wasn't running around forgiving the police for killing black folks. They was standing up and fighting back. That's what they was doing.
Dr. King
So
was a
don't say that
non-violent
because they believe in
activist.
your same book
Doc-
that they behaved the way you behave.
No.
They did not behave the way you behave.
Dr.
And they
King-
did not think the way that you think. The Bible is neutral. It's how you use the Bible. I don't have a problem with the Bible, and I don't have a problem with Christianity. I have a problem with weak-ass black men who use the Bible and Christianity as an excuse not to stand up and stand out for their people.
You stand for something, Dr. Umar, but you got to also realize that your lenses aren't, you don't pick up everything. And I noticed that this morning. There's some things that's out of your view, and that's what I'm trying to show you. That
Nothing's out of my view, my brother. The problem
you're
is
not
your
seeing it all.
religion. Your religion provides you with a tunnel vision that doesn't allow you to see the context and what's going on.
I see everything.
Like, look at our conversation right now. Look at our conversation.
I see everything
For the
you're
past 10
saying,
minutes.
but it's not making.
But look at the conversation.
And you
For
haven't
the
made it.
past 10 minutes, we've been debating forgiveness of police assassination. Why in the hell is there any black man in America wanting to forgive a police assassin for doing something they've been instructed to do and have consistently?
Yeah, CJ, you're right. Umar, he is annoying. CJ said Umar has one of the most nauseating voices I've ever heard. It is, especially when he gets into a rant mode. And right here, you can see Umar, he's getting revved up more and more, and he doesn't have the emotional discipline to kind of control his anger. And it just keeps escalating and escalating and escalating. I'm going to remind you, he's on a Christian radio show because they were going to have Umar speak at their church. Okay, watch what happens. Thanks, CJ, for the super chat. Watch this.
For 400 years, and yet your religion has brainwashed you into believing you have to forgive police assassinations on behalf of the United States government. Lord have mercy. We pray to the same God now. Make no mistake. We pray to the same God.
I'm not sure about that.
Christ, but we still, see, you're not sure about that. You know why? Because you love white folks so much that you now have to disengage from your brother.
It has
to make sure
nothing
that
to do with
you.
white or black. It has to do with love or
Yes,
hate.
it does.
It has to.
Yes, that's where you're wrong. That is exactly where you're wrong.
I'm saying love, and you're speaking hate.
White or black. Can I ask you a question then?
I'm listening.
We 20% of the country. Why we ain't got 20% of the banks? Why we ain't got 20% of the police force?
You spoke that earlier.
Why we ain't got 20% of the government jobs?
You spoke
Why
that
haven't we
earlier.
had 20% of the presidents? Why we don't own 20% of the hospitals? 20% of the supermarkets? 20% of the car lots? You know why?
Umar, you don't own anything. What are you talking about? Literally.
Because there's one race who has created a system to permanently disenfranchise the other. It is about black and white. And the reason you can't see it is because that damn book you believe in, not the book, the Bible's innocent. The Bible's innocent. Because Marcus Garvey believed in that same Bible you use. But your conditioning, your particular conditioning makes it almost impossible for you to see that you are being used as a weapon. The way you think is being used as a weapon against your people.
Dr. Umar, I got a question for you. I'm through with politics. I want to know, how do people...
We never threw with politics, brother, because everything is political. But go ahead with the question.
See how snappy he is?
I'm definitely...
You saying that.
See, he has something to say no matter what. Even because you can tell the host is trying to de-escalate. He's trying to move on. But you see what Umar does? He's always trying to assert his dominance.
Political.
I'm definitely through with the religious talk, because
the religion, the most political thing in the black community. When y'all get rid of that white Jesus, then we can talk about religion.
Who said he was white?
He's not white, but I'm willing to bet if I go to your church, he white. If I open your Bible, I bet you he white.
Nah, you probably got some
I
of
go
them.
to Florida, I bet you he white. Don't you sit here and lie to me. You know like I know. I done spoken damn near every state in this country and on every continent on this planet except for Australia. 99% of all Jesus images in the black community in the world.
As if he's visited everyone's home and everyone's church all throughout the world. He's a trip.
The world is white. You know it and I know it, so stop that.
All right, so how do people receive you, man, when you go into churches? Because I disagree with the
They
things.
love me. I'm a breath of fresh air.
Let me finish what I'm saying here. I'm making a
born
point.
on the day of Jesus Christ, August the 21st. According to the Durantia Bible, Jesus Christ was born on August the 21st, brother. I come on the same day as the Christ.
I disagree with
Check
the way.
history. December 25th is not the birth of Jesus.
Listen to me,
Jesus
Dr.
was a
Umar.
Leo. That's why they gave him frankincense and myrrh and gold when he was born, because frankincense and myrrh and gold is the elements of the Leo child.
You can't tell me nothing about Jesus, Dr. Umar.
Let's drop the fact. December 25th ain't got nothing to do with the birth of Christ.
Nobody says it does, but you can't tell me anything about Jesus with the point of view that you've given me today. You can't tell me anything about Jesus.
Conditioned, my brother.
And not only that,
conditioned with a docile Negro version of Christianity.
Dr. Umar, I'm gonna say this, man, and we'll shut it down right here. I think that it's a disgrace to bring you in the church, man. So I think we're gonna switch that event. I'm gonna go talk with the pastor, man. It need to be outside, because I disagree with the way you have spoke this morning, man. And you talk good about a lot of things, and you won't.
Well, you know what?
And you educating a lot of people.
And
but
you know what?
Listen,
That's a damn shame.
Let me talk,
That's
bro.
a damn
I listen.
shame.
I listen to you though.
Damn shame.
Now you need to be out the door with that,
man. Of a nigga you are. You know why? Because I'm coming down there to help our parents help their kids.
Yeah,
and
but you can't help us. No, you can't help us by telling us to not forgive.
For you, brother.
You can't help us by telling us not to forgive.
All respect for you.
Well, I lost mine for you about 20 minutes ago,
and
bro.
I'm the only person that can help their parents help them. And because I don't agree with your damn religion.
No, we want to help.
I don't agree with your religion. You want to get the event. You ain't nothing but a coon and a nigga.
No, we want to help.
I'm off this show.
Bye.
That's y'all's principle. See how unhinged he is? He does not like to be challenged at all. He thinks he knows everything. He's called himself the Black Christ, the Messiah. He believes he's God. I have this one video where he's talking about when he meditates, he sees himself deep in space. But really what he's saying is in heaven, sitting on a throne, looking down upon the earth. Okay, well, who is that? I have something else. If you guys really want to go deep on this, I'm going to do it. I know I said we're going to get right into the video, but I'm going to do it. I want to play something from February 12th of 2025 of this year. Listen to this.
Whatever you feel, you need to close your eyes and say, "Get ye back, Satan. Get ye back, Ajagoon. Get you back." I'm telling you, get back on your path. Black people are not only suffering because we're not organized. Part of the reason we can't get organized is the devil is keeping Africans from coming together.
Look who's talking.
The devil is even in your religion, not the beliefs, but the institutions. You got demons all in the church. You got demons all in the masjid. You got demons all in the temple. Yes, brothers and sisters. The devil is everywhere. When you think you're the closest to God, that's when the devil comes in acting like he's God. He's a great deceiver. He make you think you holy.
See, Umar, he started using that term great deceiver because that's what I've been calling him for a couple of years now. He's the great deceiver in the Black conscious space. Hit the one. So he watches these videos. So that's why he's saying this here. And he's the person who tries to present himself as if he's some sort of a savior. He's some great leader, but no, he's not. He's the great deceiver of our time. Umar, he's a trip.
When you're not. The devil works with your ego to deceive you and make you think you okay. It's okay for you to commit this sin.
Okay, who has the biggest ego that I've ever seen? Umar.
My alcoholic recoveries. All
Just
my
projecting.
former alcoholics and drug users. Y'all know about that devil.
See, this is Umar projecting right here. He's talking about himself.
You walking down the street, you see some of your old drug partners, they getting high. They invite you over there. Come and hit this real quick. You deserve this. Come and get this 40 ounce. Break this 40 with us for the Super Bowl. You deserve this. That's the devil working with your ego. Your ego say, yeah, you got a right to get high one more time. Your ego say you work hard. You got a right to cheat on your wife this one time. The ego say you all right. You got a right to steal this one. No, that's the devil. He's the greatest psychologist to ever walk the earth in spirit.
His mama called him devil too, by the way. She's Christian. Let's keep going.
Sometimes you get a stranger walk up to you and try to motivate you to do wrong. A stranger walk up to you. Hey, homie, help me get this car real quick. Hey, homie, You want to hit this blunt one time? And the blunt is laced with formaldehyde and rat poison. And the
Here he go.
next thing you know, you done went into a schizophrenic episode.
Is Lenon in here? See how that go? We've been emailing each other back and forth. You see how that go right there, Lenon? Here we go.
That was a demon in physical form.
Yeah.
That was a demon in physical form. You got to build a relationship with the Lord. I don't care about your beliefs. See, that's another big problem we got. We think the beliefs are going to save us. No, they don't. Beliefs are intellectual. Beliefs are emotional. Beliefs don't go to the level of spirit. You believe Jesus is the Son of God. No problem. But that's not helping you build a relationship with God.
Listen to this guy.
You believe Muhammad is the last prophet. No problem. But that's not helping you build a relationship with God. Don't confuse dogma with the spiritual path. Too many of you are confusing dogma with the physical path, the spiritual path. Dogma ain't got nothing to do with it. God don't care what road you take as long as you walk it the right way. Ashe? Ashe? God don't care what path you take as long as you walk it the right way. Get right with God. You want to get right with the church. You want to get right with the church. You're more worried about what the people think than what the Lord thinks. It ain't about getting right with the church. Get right with the Lord. You're not in this for the approval of the people. That's what's wrong with the mass religions. The mass religions, the people are God. Make sure you stay in good standing with the church. Make sure you stay in good standing with the pastor and the pastor sinning more than you. What are we doing? Make sure you stay in good standing with the pastor and the pastor sinning more than you.
Yeah,
what are we doing?
7-8 vet. He wild.
Make sure you stay in good standing with the church and the church sinning more than you. Who are they?
Look at him.
Hey, God is no respecter of persons.
What?
Get right with the Lord. But let me study my Bible. No problem with that. You get inspiration from the Bible, no problem. I read some of the Bible chapters sometimes. I read some of the Quran sometimes. I read all kind of stuff. The Dhammapada of Buddha, the Gita of the East Indians. I read it all. It all come from me. But don't confuse
He's talking about the Bhagavad Gita. Yeah.
mastery of the Bible with closeness to God. That might give you instruction, information, inspiration, but that can't deliver you. The deliverance is in the work. The work. You have to do the work. And the toughest part of the spiritual path is righteous living.
Tripping. What's up, Dominique? I got about 2 more minutes on this, then we get to the main video. What in the world?
And you know what? Some of you are on the spiritual path, but you dating somebody who could care less. Lord have mercy. Some of you are on the spiritual path. I'm not talking about no religion. I'm talking about a relationship with the Supreme. I don't care about no religion. I care about your relationship with the Supreme. Stop confusing religion with God. Stop confusing religion with the spiritual path. Jesus might be your Lord, and that's okay. But Jesus ain't my Lord, and Jesus ain't everybody's Lord. But if that's your path, walk it, sister. Don't argue.
See this? But watch this.
Some of y'all spend more time trying to convince other people to follow your religion than you spend trying to build your life. Stop wasting time trying to tell other people what they need to believe, because the beliefs ain't the problem. You got to live righteously. I don't care what jacket you put on, but when you come outside, you better have a jacket on. I don't care what shoes you put on. Why am I yelling? Block. Stupid ass questions. Are you saved? That's the first thing my Christian brothers and sisters will ask. And I love y'all. I'm not down on you. The Christian brothers and sisters will say, are you saved? Saved from what? Saved from what? You think because Jesus is your Lord, you are saved? Only the Lord can save you. The church can't save you. Jesus can't save you. The supreme and only the supreme. Are you saved? That's dogma and doctrine. Can't no other human being tell you you saved? No other human being can deliver you. Can't nobody tell you you saved? Oh yeah, I got saved last week. Huh? According to who? You got saved according to who? A human being told you you were saved? No. 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 A sinner told a sinner that they were saved. Lord have mercy.
All right. That's Umar. He's a hypocrite. He's spoken inside churches. He's asked people who are in the black church to let him speak in their venues. He'll quote the Bible, at least try to from time to time. He'll bring up the Lord and all this other stuff, but he's a total hypocrite. See, but that's because he's the great deceiver of our time in the black conscious space. Okay, people need to be careful, really careful. Okay, it doesn't even matter if you're Christian. I'm not a Christian. Okay. All right, just to be clear about that, but I have respect. That's a huge element to this. Umar has no respect whatsoever. None. Right? Now, I try my best to live right. I try my best to live right every single day. Okay, when I pray to the Lord. It is what it is. Okay, I'm just not into the religious aspect, but I have respect. Umar does not have any respect, and he'll manipulate people, including Christians, when it suits him by quoting the Bible or talking Christianity. But you saw how he behaved on the Christian radio show. You see how he behaves here. Hey, these are people, just some things to think about. And, even want to extend this for those of you guys who are into EFA. Understand that he's using that too to manipulate you guys as if he's some sort of he just takes what he can whenever he can, and he'll use whatever he can to manipulate people. Okay, the bottom line is he ain't living right, no matter how you look at this. He can say whatever he wants to, he ain't living right. All right. Okay, let's get into the video for today. It's let me see, how long is this too, by the way? Because I want to try to get this live stream in 2 hours. Yeah, we may be able to do it in 2 hours. Maybe we'll see. Let me get to these super chats real quick. Again, shout out to the Cookie Crush chat. Did I put up a poll question? I thought I put the poll question. Yeah, there is a poll question. The poll question is, when Umar Johnson speaks about black people, what percentage of Umar Johnson's rhetoric is negative? So in other words, when he talks about black people, he tends to talk very negative. Well, what percentage of Umar's rhetoric is negative when he talks about black people? We have 809 votes so far. 6% said 25%, 11% said 50%, if that makes sense. 39% said 75% of the time. I'll say it that way. And 45% said 100% of the time. Okay, this is something to keep in mind because Umar, he speaks very poorly about black people. And it's a contradiction to how he kind of presents himself as this kind of savior figure. He's here to save black people, so forth and so on. But he actually talks very poorly about black people, and he does it consistently. All right, let me do these super chats real quick. What's up, user 225 says, Umar never talks positive about black people. He calls y'all trifling, slave-minded, etc. Even him talking about caramel fudge queens is just freak off talk. You're absolutely right about that. A lot of his rhetoric when he talks about black women, it's like perverted. Okay, well, that's a level of disrespect too. That's speaking poorly about black people, black women. When he calls people coon, like he did the brother that was on the Christian radio show. Okay, that's another example of that. When he talks about lashes, the black people need to get lashed and are whipped and this type of thing. Okay, well, that's slavery talk. That's slave master talk. Well, that's another example of Umar disrespect of black people. A lot of what he did early on too. I take these in my notes. I actually outline this. Is whenever he would talk about black parents, he would always talk with them with the level of disdain, as if black parents don't know how to raise their children. Meanwhile, here we are. 20 years later, and it's been proven that Umar doesn't even take care of his own kids, and he never did, not consistently, and has been a deadbeat and absentee father for over, what is it now? Maybe 15 years for one of his children. For the other children, for the other child, I would think at least a decade. But even when he was around, he wasn't around consistently. He was causing all types of problems. So this is all to say that Umar, he spent a lot of time early in his earlier talks when he would talk about the school to prison pipeline and special education and misdiagnoses. He would talk very poorly about Black parents and Black mothers in particular, as if you guys, excuse me, as if you guys didn't know what you were doing, and that he was the solution. That's why one time he said something like, "Why would I want to send them back home to you for? You're part of the problem. You got Willie Lynch all in your system talking about you Black parents. He ain't talking about me, right?" So he has a long history of that. And then, of course, all the sexualized talk and commentary that he has about Black women is also disrespectful. Thank you, user 225. Jack says, I'm not with the forgiving and forgetting. Yeah, it's a personal choice. But from the Christian's perspective, in terms of a principle, it is about forgiveness. And some people are able to do it well. Some people are not able to do it as well. Some people are unable to do it at all. But one of the general principles is that of forgiveness. Umar being on a Christian radio show, he should have enough sense not to be going back and forth like that. And then ultimately, he just kind of spirals out of control and he goes crazy. Okay, I like to forgive as much as possible. Can I say that I've forgiven No, I can't say that, but I know that in my heart I want to forgive. It just sometimes it takes a lot longer. Sometimes we just have to live our life without having that level of forgiveness. It just depends on the person's situation. Okay. Thanks, Jam Jack, for the super chat. Appreciate it. What's up, James? Says Umar views on Charlie Kirk has surely changed. The thing is that Umar, what he tried to spin the whole Charlie Kirk situation into was as if Black people were celebrating, overwhelmingly celebrating Charlie Kirk's murder. I didn't see that. I didn't see like all of these Black people doing that. That's not what I saw. It was interesting that Umar even said that. I didn't even know who Charlie Kirk was. I'm not into politics and I'm not into it's just not my lane. So it's interesting because Umar tried to flip that around as a way to kind of demean Black people and try to place himself as some authority figure and chastise Black people. But he tends to do that a lot. Thank you, James, for being a member for 19 months. The CJ says Umar has one of the most nauseating. I got this one earlier. You're right, especially when he starts ranting. Rob 103100 says, "I'm sorry, Umar, you fired." Okay, well, he don't have a job though. How you gonna fire him? All right. I feel like this lighting is too bright. Let me know if this is too bright because I can turn this lighting down a little bit. Chelsea says, "No two things he said made sense to me." Yeah, because he contradicts himself a lot. He really does. One moment he's saying, Lord have mercy, but then on the other hand, he's talking all poorly about Christians and Christ and all this other stuff. It's just amazing when Umar says Christ can't save you. It just goes to show you the level of disrespect that he has. He just totally disrespectful, and yet he wants to present himself as the savior figure, right? Okay, thank you for the super chat, Chelsea. I call Cap says Umar really hates himself. It's all projecting. Yeah, oftentimes when he's talking and he's talking about the alcohol, no gin today. Remember that? And he's talking about smoking weed and doing drugs and all this kind of stuff. It's just him projecting. He does that a lot. That's one thing I've learned about Umar over the years. Is a lot of times he's just projecting. Thank you, I call Cap, for the super chat. Corruption Point says Umar is such a hateful piece of garbage, but hey, if there are people who want to support a Klansman in blackface, go ahead. A lot of his rhetoric about Black people is extremely negative, and in some cases it is. It's racist. If a white person said it, people would be in outrage. Black people, a lot of people Black people in outrage. But if Umar does it, somehow he gets a pass. It's a huge problem. It's a huge problem. And Umar is. I'm not going to say that he's garbage. I'm not going to do that. Okay. But I will say he's a very hateful person. He's hate-filled. I think he lives that way. Like he has a hateful spirit. That's one thing about Umar. It's just a hateful person. He spends a lot of time demeaning and disrespecting people. But Lene sent, and I watched what you sent me to, Lene, and it was fascinating. I sat back and I was like, wow, it was really incredible. I think that there's reasons why Umar is like that. But those reasons, it's not an excuse for Umar to continue to be like that. Okay. Shout out to Lene. Thanks, Corruption Point, for the super chat. The CJ also says, imagine having a library of human knowledge in your pocket and still settling on Umar as a leader. Guess some people prefer victimhood over competence. You make a good point here, because in 2025, we have access to information at any given time. And it's like overwhelmingly, there's so much information out there. I remember when I was growing up, even to go get a book at a library, just to find a book, it was a process to find a book. First, you have to get there to the library, drive, walk or ride a bike, whatever it was. But then, and all that takes time. But then you have to find the actual book that you're looking for. And they have these card catalogs, and these were, you know, physical shelving that you go into, and you will look up the author's name. I think that's what it was, author's name first. And so you would have to know what the author of the book is. And then you would go through to find the last name. And then after that, you get into that section, you start looking for the first name. And then you go through and you start looking for that actual book. And then on that card, it'll tell you where in the library, what roll or what shelf it's in. And then you have to go to the library to go find that actual shelf. And then you get to that shelf, you start looking through to actually find the book. Okay, that's all time consuming just to get one book. Okay, here we are in 2025, and we can access information globally all around the world, different languages, what have you. And there's no excuse for anyone not to be able to do the research on Umar to know exactly who he is in 2025. That's a huge point. That's a huge point right there. You know, but again, Umar is the great deceiver of our time. There are people who see the information, some of them see these videos that I do, and other people do South Information Man, other people, Lady Luck Club, so forth and so on, but they see it, but they're in denial. But that has to do with Umar as a master manipulator, Umar as the great deceiver of time. He's deceived literally millions of people around the world. But thankfully, more and more people are waking up. And the more and more people who wake up to who Umar is and what he is, I have to throw that in there too, then you'll start to see more and more, and that's what we're seeing more and more in 2025, more people criticize Umar. You look inside King Kong Conscious YouTube page, look at the comment section when they post videos, 90% negative towards Umar. Wherein you go back 2, 3, 4, 5 years ago, it would be the opposite. You would have 10% negative towards Umar, 90 positive, right? They upload videos on King Kong Consciousness, and it gets far less views than I get when I do my videos. The same video that I do, you know, we get together and watch, I get way more views than they do. Back in the day, that wasn't the case. See? But CJ, you make a great point right there. There's really no excuse at this point for people to see Umar as a leader. Thank you for the super chat as well. Sweet D, let's see the puppy. Fumar reminds me of Nintendo's Mike Tyson's Punch Out when he lies. What are you talking about? The only way you can defeat Mike is when he blinks. Yeah, you're right about that. That was one of my favorite games. It's one of my favorite games of all time was Mike Tyson Punch Out. Yeah, and you guys, I played that. That's probably one of the games I played more than. It has to be top 3 in terms of the amount of time I spent. And the reason why I'm saying it, I know it's going to sound crazy, but I remember the first time I hit Mike Tyson, I jumped up out of my chair and I ran, and I was yelling and screaming, and he knocked me out right away, but I hit him. And I jumped out of my chair and I ran downstairs, and I was all excited. And I was going, yeah, and I was telling my sister, I hit Mike Tyson. And she was older. She was looking at me like, what's wrong with you? I was so happy, you know. But I got so good, and I couldn't do it with other characters, but I fought Mike Tyson so many times, even in my mind. I kind of remember what that code was: 00736349773 or 75, something like that. But I fought him so much, and once I beat him, I was ecstatic. But then I got better and better at it, and at a certain point, I memorized his patterns, and then I memorized the music. And the sound effects he would make when he would, right before he would throw a particular punch. So I had all memorized in my head. And at a certain point, I was able to beat Mike Tyson with my eyes closed. Now that shows you 2 things. One, that I spent way too much time playing Nintendo. And in particular, that game, I would say out of all the games, that was one of the games I probably spent the most amount of time playing, probably a top 3. I've spent a lot of time playing Zelda too, but also number 2, that I had pattern recognition at an early age, and it helped me to be able to kind of beat games quickly, but in particular to memorize his pattern. Back then, the AI it just ran a pattern, and as long as you go based upon the pattern, you're going to get the same outcome every single time. Nowadays, games are different. You got, artificial intelligence to a certain degree, and it's randomized to where you never know exactly what's going to happen. But back then, games were like that. Anyway, I spent a whole lot of time. Anyway, it brings back a lot of memories. But yeah, Mike Tyson, he would blink like this, and then he would make this sound when he would throw that punch. But then also when he would do that uppercut, he had made a particular sound. Anyway, thanks, Sweet D. Mike Tyson was easier for me to beat at a certain point because I spent so much time fighting him than someone like Bob Bull or Macho Hector or Macho Camacho, whatever that guy's name. He was more. Those guys were more difficult to me. Soda Popinski was more difficult to me too than Mike Tyson at a certain point. Anyway, thank you, Sweet D. They used to call me LenonHonor. I was really deep into video games back then. Okay, thanks, Sweet D, for the super chat. It brings back memories. Okay, you see, it was video games and sci-fi. And in sci-fi video games, boy, I used to love that. What's up, D-Daz says, unfortunately, can't hang out tonight. Got to handle family business. Okay, appreciate you, brother, in the quick chat. Okay, yeah. We'll handle the business, brother. Thank you for the super chat. And this will be archived, so you can come back and check it out when you have some time. A shout out to D-Daz all. Appreciate you, bro. Corruption Point also says, Umar wants blacks against others so he can direct your attention while he steals your money. I don't mean to laugh, but I think that is part of Umar's strategy. You know, Umar wants to, first of all, he wants black people to feel as if they're so disempowered and everyone's against them. And, he's the answer and he's the solution. But really, the solution really for him is, in terms of his interaction with people, he pretends that he's going to provide the solution. He's the quote unquote savior, but ultimately he wants people to send him money. And that's all it comes down to. So you're right about that. That's how Umar operates. You know, it's manipulative, but ultimately that's how Umar operates. Okay, even the school. You look at the school. The school is a misdirection. Okay, and I know people say, "What do you mean by that?" It really is. People, and even when I do my analysis, sometimes I kind of get caught up, and I have over the years just kind of focusing on the school. But really, the issue is the money. See, the school, the school is the scam. But really, the scam is the means to get the money. So Umar's ultimate objective really doesn't have much to do with the school. It has everything to do with the money. Okay, so that's what I mean by it's Umar directs people's attention. Follow me, directs people's attention on the school, but really his focus is on the money. So as long as he can keep people focusing on this school, this idea of opening up a school, which are nothing more than abandoned buildings, people are going to keep sending him money. So his needs are fulfilled, but he never fulfills his obligation of opening up a school. It's a misdirection. See? Yeah. Thank you, Corruption Point, for a super chat. T. Faison says, every time he say this guy, I laugh. I laugh. Why? Do I say this guy? There's things that I say, I don't really think about it, but I do. And then people say it. Then when they say I say these things and I think of it, then I watch the video. I say, I do say that. You know, like hit the one. I don't mean to, but yeah. I do say that. I say this guy. Look at this guy. Okay, thanks, Steve Faison. Is it too bright? Maybe it's my monitor. Let me know, y'all, in the chat. I'm gonna look right now because I feel like I need to turn these lights down. It's kind of glaring in my eyes too. So I don't know. Thanks, T Faison. Lou Sucks, what's up? Lou Sucks says Umar isn't the only one that disparages black people. There is an industry in punching down on us, and it pays apparently. And the narratives are repeated so much, some of us buy into it and repeat them. You're right about that. That's something I've noticed I'm not on any other really on any other social media platforms. I do have a Facebook page, but I don't post there, and I have an Instagram page. I don't post there either. It haven't for a long time. It's been years on Instagram, but. Yeah, there was a time on YouTube where there was a lot of content that was being produced that was disparaging towards black people, and people would tune in. You know, people would tune in and support it. But I think at a certain point, YouTube recognized, because there were situations that were taking place where stuff would get inside like chat rooms for that type of content. It would get like overly, the only word that comes to mind, it gets dangerous because people start issuing threats. And then there was carryover into the real world where things were happening in the real world based upon these types of channels that were like disparaging black people. And it'd be black people disparaging black people, or black people disparaging black women, or black people disparaging black men. There was a market for it during that time. Okay, I don't know if there still is, but the point is that a lot of that began to filter into the real world, and harm was coming to people as a consequence. And the YouTube started to shut that stuff down. There was a lot of people that got their accounts terminated because of that type of rhetoric. It's unfortunate because it was allowed to go on for such a long period, for years. I mean, it was allowed to go on for a long time. So the damage was already done. Right? But you're right about that. You're absolutely right about that. Thank you, Louis. Michael said Umar has no relationship with his dad, kids, baby mamas, and I suspect he resents but needs his mom. Yeah, I don't think he cares for his mom at all. I don't think so. No wonder he hates black people. He hates himself. Yeah, and you're right. He doesn't have a relationship with his dad. Hasn't for a very long time. He doesn't have a relationship with his children. Hasn't for a very long time. Doesn't have a relationship with his baby mamas. Hasn't for a very, very long time. And in terms of his mother's living condition, it's clear to me that he doesn't care for his mother. Now, he may say that, but I'm talking about truly, genuinely care. He sees her as a possession, and listen, I have to say it. She supports him. She has a place to stay. He does not. So he stays with her when he can. Right? He doesn't have a job, but she has. His nephew talked about this, how he's in control of her checks that come from the government. He's in control of all that. He's living off of his mama. Okay, you can't say that you love your mama if you're living off your mama at the age of 50, and she's bedridden. See, if anything, Umar should be in a position after raising millions of dollars for this FDMG school scam to have his own place, and by now at the age of 51, with all the money he's raised, and then have a room for his mother, have it nice, have it clean, not having her living in filth, so forth and so on. But he lives in filth himself. So yeah, you're absolutely right about this. I think part of Umar's issue is that he has not really addressed himself and the self-hatred that he has, the self-loathing that he has. Umar dealing with issues of anxiety and depression, because I can tell when he gets into them. I can totally tell. And then sometimes it even escalates to other things. I can tell with Umar that there's a lot that he has to work through, and he needs to really go and get professional psychological services. Lene, we were talking about this today, that he really needs that. But Umar's so arrogant, and his ego is so out of control, and that narcissism, he believes that he's the next Christ, because he's called himself these types of terms. He's appointed himself as the Black Christ, the Messiah, and these types of things. So a person who thinks like that, they lack humility, and without humility, you're not going to feel as if you need to go and get any type of professional help. No, he needs it. Right. And part of the issue with Umar is that it's not only is it just the hatred that he has for Black people, it's an aspect of the hatred that he has for himself. See, as wild as Umar can get, and as out there and delusional that he can be, and I've seen it with Umar, he still has to come back to himself no matter what. He can't escape that. See, all this other stuff that Umar does, it's like him trying to escape from himself and looking at his life and truly look at it. I'm not talking about, kind of looking at it and analyzing it a bit. I'm talking about Umar dealing with the reality of his life. That's what he fears the most, but that's what he needs to do the most if he's going to ever get his life turned back around. And until he does so, he's going to continue to hate himself, and then he's going to continue to hate other people. Part of his hatred is simply jealousy. We were talking about that yesterday. A lot of times when he's going at people, it's just jealousy. He's jealous that other people are more accomplished. They're doing things. They have families. They take care of their kids. They're successful, so forth and so on. They have relationships. Umar doesn't have any of that. Anyway, I go on and on that. Thank you, Michael. A good point. Big Dunks Forever says, don't tell other people what to believe while telling other people what to believe, not taking moral service from a deadbeat dad. Yeah. Umar has a tendency to try to tell people what they should do, even you Black women, how you should dress, how you should wear your hair, what you should be buying, Black people, what you should be buying, what you should not be buying. Then he buys the same thing that he tells you can't buy. He tells you that you should be buying things, but he don't even have a job, but he will actually for the money that you would use to go buy things. And yeah, he'll tell you what you need to believe too. He will tell you that Christ can't save you. He's dictatorial. But that's the cult dynamic of Umar. It reminds me of Jim Jones. Jim Jones was the same, very controlling. See, Umar's whole it's enmeshment, but his relationship with his mama, it's about control. He sees her as an object, and that object is able to fulfill some of the needs that he has, which include housing. Okay, it includes money. He sees her as an object, right? But that's what these cult leader types of individuals. That's what they Polite saw his harem as property. Jay Morrison, the people who donated to him, he just saw them as a resource, nothing more. A lack of humanization of humans turned them into objects. But that's what Umar's. He done it with his own mama. See, so the point is that part of the dehumanization for Umar, when he dehumanizes other people, is it's to put them in a subservient position where he becomes the authority figure, and then he can dictate to people what you should believe, how you should think, how you should dress, and so forth and so on. Okay, that's what I mean by it's like a cult dynamic with Umar. Thank you, Big Dunks Forever, for the super chat. Appreciate it. Dallas says, I don't know if I believe Umar will open that school or Lenon when he say it's going to be a short stream. I have no comment for that. Okay, I have to be off here within the next hour and 45 minutes. I got something else I got to do. That's why I was hoping to see if I can get. All right, we already got blown off. Thank you for the super chat. We got 1,400 people in the chat room. We have 1,015 votes. When Umar speaks about Black people, what percentage of Umar Johnson's rhetoric is negative? 6% said 25% of his rhetoric is negative. 11% said 50% of his rhetoric is negative. 40% said 75% of his rhetoric is negative. And 43% said 100% of his rhetoric is negative. And this is specifically when he's talking about Black people. Okay, make sure you get your vote in. Our goal is 500 likes. We're already at 408, so we should meet that before we close out this live stream. Thanks, Dallas, for the suggestion. I really can't say nothing about that. All right. Black Wolf gifted a membership. Thank you so much, Black Wolf. I appreciate that. And whoever received that, make sure you thank Black Wolf for being so kind. All right. Let's see. I have 4 more super chats or 5 more super chats here. Big Ducks also says, no human can save you while taking donations for claiming to be able to save Black youth. Yeah, and he said that so many times. He said things like, with all of the Black boys that I've saved, who saved them from special education? Who saved them from the school to prison pipeline? Who's saving them? Blah, 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 blah. Umar perceives himself as being a savior, and yet there's no history or no record of him, quote unquote, saving Black boys. I mean, it's just part of it's part of the fantasy that Umar has created, and there are people who have bought into that. It's really a delusion. There's people who bought into that. So no human can save you while taking donations for claiming to be able to save Black youth. Yeah, the thing is that the idea of the school fits into that. The idea of opening up FDMG is to quote unquote save Black boys. Umar has actually stated that. Right? There was a time where it was supposed to be for boys and for girls. It was supposed to be a boarding school. But at this point, it's supposed to just be a regular school, and it's just specifically for boys. But this idea still carries over, this idea of saving Black boys. I said this a long time ago that what Umar is really attempting to do is he's attempting to relive the trauma of being in a boarding school when he was shipped off to the military academy. That's that's all this is about. It's a form of projection, but it's more like Umar is trying to resolve all the trauma of being separated from his family, being shipped off, all of the trauma that he experienced there. Because he's talked about that. I'm sure that there's a lot more that he would have, that if he could ever come to grips with it and share it, would probably shock a lot of people. He was traumatized while he was there too, from 9th grade through 12th grade. And that whole time, he's not having much interaction with his family members. So there's a serious trauma there. So that's why Umar, he conceptualizes FDMG as a boarding school, just like the military academy was a boarding school. And if you guys listen to those earlier videos, when he's talking about what FDMG is going to be as a boarding school, a lot of it is military. It's militarized. You can hear how he talks about it. Okay, strict regimen, corporal punishment. They're going to be living on campus. They get up when I say, they go to bed when I say, this type of stuff. Well, that's all military. That's that military programming, right? So Umar, the school it's about, the idea is to save Black boys, but really what he's doing is on a subconscious level, he's living out this idea that somehow he's going to save himself by reenacting the trauma that he experienced when he was in that boarding school, but he's going to do this through FDMG. Okay, and then in his mind, he just says, I'm going to save Black boys. No, he's trying to save that Black boy within him. That's a little Jermaine too, by the way. All right. By himself. Okay, since he doesn't need anyone's help, just their money. Yeah, he was on Lord Jamar show. He said he didn't even need any help. The Lord Jamar show, what was that, about 3 years ago? So yeah, I can't even remember. Maybe that was longer than that. But he was on there acting crazy, and he was talking about how he didn't need nothing and blah, blah, blah. And here we are all these years later, and the school's still not, the abandoned buildings still haven't been renovated, even though he said they renovated in 2023. I think that was early. That was 2021, wasn't it? Lord Jamar interview, Umar Johnson. Yeah, that was 5 years ago. Man, boy, time flies. Yeah, that was back in 2020. My goodness. Okay. Thanks, Big Dunks Forever. And here we are, 5 years later. Umar was on that Showtime while he don't need nobody. Miranda says, hi, Cougar Chat and Lenon. Give me that BBT, Big Back TV Typhoid. All right. That Typhoid Tuesday, boy, that's crazy. All right. Thank you. Yeah, that Big Back TV is still inside that big gym. It's still sitting there. Okay. And then let's do, I got 3 more here. And then we get to the video. Poot Daddy FDMG. What in the world? Poot Daddy FDMG says he was meant to clean the toilets, not leave them in darkness. Umar didn't clean them toilets. He just made everything worse. We probably will never ever revisit those because it's just so gross. But he don't know how to clean, and he actually made things worse in those bathrooms. I remember I asked people. I said, "Would you be if you had to use the bathroom? Would you use those bathrooms?" And everybody said, "No, there's no. I wouldn't even walk in there. I wouldn't even walk in there because it's just unsanitary and it's just nasty." I mean, I'm gonna leave it right there. Anyway, thanks, Poot Daddy FMG. What kind of name? T-Face on became a member. Thank you so much. We have like hundreds of archived Umar Johnson videos for members. Okay. Thank you for becoming a member. And then Lewis X says, Umar studies psychology, so he understands social conditioning. It consists of positive and negative reinforcement. Yeah, he talked a lot about that earlier on. We would talk about children and disciplining children and kind of getting them correct, their behaviors corrected. He talked a lot about positive and negative reinforcement. He builds them up and tears them down to keep them off balance without going too far. Yeah. Yeah, I'll propose that that's what he does with a lot of the women that he deals with. It's about building them up and then tearing them down and building them up and he's an abuser. That's what abusers do. You know, they'll say something nice like black queens forever, snow bunnies never, but behind the scenes, they're a male hoe, and they run into these black women and causing all types of strife and trauma in these black women's lives. That's Umar. But then, you know, he'll say something positive again and bring them up, and then he'll tear them down and bring them up back over. That's what abusers do. He's an abuser. I've been talking about this for a long time. And yeah, he did study psychology. I've also heard him reference people like Goebbels. Was that Goebbels? Yeah, I think it's the Goebbels. He's also propagandist, Nazi propagandist. He's referenced in older videos. He used to reference people like this. Well, he studied these people. See, he's a trip. He's a trip. I remember someone said that Nature Boy at a certain, but this was early on, before he really got his cult going, he was studying a book called How to Start a Cult. There was a lady that knew him from a long time. I can't even remember where I saw that video, but it was intriguing because she knew him way back before he, you know, kind of became known. And back then she was talking about how he wasn't crazy. Well, he was off, but not crazy like he became, but that's what he was studying back then. It was all about manipulating people. Umar's done the same thing. He's a master manipulator. He's studied to be able to do this. Thank you, Lewis Luck. And then also Mind Chaos Brew became a member. All right, thank you so much. All right, let's get to the main video for today. Shout out to the Chris channel. I hope you all enjoying the show. If at any point you're enjoying the show, make sure you hit that like button, which our goal is to get to 500 likes. And so we're going to go to an interview of Umar from the 17th, which is about 4 days ago. And I'm going to try to limit my commentary because I want to try to get through this as quickly as possible. Okay. And again, I just want to reiterate full disclosure here. I cut out the beginning section prior to Umar actually being interviewed. And then there's some commercial breaks too. I edit those out too. It's like maybe about 7 or 8 minutes of like kind of dead air. But everything else is right there. All right. Here we go.
Community or a black politician or a black church, if you're taking money from white folks, it comes with conditions. Every Negro in America knows every white dollar comes with conditions.
Okay, even him using terminology like Negro, okay, that's negative right there. Well, watch how negatively he talks about black people. Oh, thank you so much, Delvon. I hope people enjoy the show. All right, I appreciate it. We got 1,300 people here already, so that's cool. Thank you guys so much. Cooker Chat's undefeated. Here we go.
So if I am serious about helping black people as a politician, a preacher, a community activist, I don't take money from white folks. Now,
yeah. Black Anonymous. Shout out to Black Anonymous. In addition to being quite concerned for his mother, I'm also concerned about Umar being on these college campuses and being near the young women. Absolutely. Were you here yesterday? I think you were here yesterday. I played the video where Umar sneak kissed that young lady. Yeah, totally inappropriate. It goes to show you that he's preying upon these young ladies inside of in these colleges too, who are in their late teens, early 20s. It just shows that I can pull up so many videos of Umar sneak kissing older women. That's the first time I saw him do something like that. But I'm gonna tell you guys something. What happens with people like Umar? Because the same thing happened to Polite. Because Polite got away with his behavior, nefarious behavior, for such a long time, that he got comfortable and he thought he was invincible, and as a consequence, he got sloppier and sloppier and sloppier with it. He began to indulge in more and more and more, thinking that he would never get caught. Well, Umar's the same thing. I mean, I can go back to those early Umar videos, and I can see how he's progressed. It's a progression, but it's like doing the wrong thing. But he's gotten more and more comfortable with extending his reach past, like, okay, 35-year-olds, 40 years old. Now it's getting into the 20s. Then now he's getting into the mid 20s. Now he's getting into the early 20s. Okay, but remember, he impregnated a young lady when she was in her early 20s. He was in his early 40s. Okay, now here he is at the age of 51, and you can tell by that sneak kiss that he's already extended this even further, even though he's gotten even older. Okay, that is dangerous, very dangerous. This guy. All right, here we go.
Here's the bigger question. Black people in America are a $2 trillion economy. We're the richest group of Africans on the face of the earth. We're the 10th richest economic power in the world. Why do we care about taking money from white folks? How about we stop spending $2 billion on Air Jordans every year?
Okay, listen. Umar had on some Air Maxes the other day. Remember, we covered the video, so it's okay for him to wear the Nikes, but black people can't wear the Nikes because they need to give that money to him. See this? Hit the one. There you go.
How about we stop spending $4 billion on liquor and alcohol every year?
Yeah, but Umar, you go around the corner to that liquor store and you're a regular customer for gin. So what are you talking about? Don't make me pull up the receipt. Umar was checking out and the guy was like, no gin today? Okay, that tells you two things. One, that Umar, he's a frequent customer. They know him. Yeah, he's been up there scamming and scheming up at Wilmington. Look at all the ones in here for 6.5 years. They know him. But two, that he comes through there and they expect him to get gin. So it's okay for Umar to do it. And again, people do what you want to. I don't drink. I never have. But if you want to do what you want to, it's your money. But he don't even got a job. But he going to tell y'all should be spending money on liquor or alcohol. Now, I'll tell you the same thing. You should probably spend money on something else, but it's your money. You can do what you want to. If you want to take it and burn it, go ahead. I mean, literally, if you want to go and get some matches and burn your shit, just burn it. Just burn it. I don't know, smoke it if you want. That's what you're doing when you're smoking that crack anyway. You smoking that crack. That's what you just smoking up your money. That's what you want to do. Fine, it's your money. It's your money. Do what you want to. The difference is Umar don't even have a job, but he's gonna tell y'all what y'all need to do with the money. All right, I'm sorry. I should have got it. I felt like I went a little too far. Here we go.
How about we stop spending $1 billion on chicken, turkey, beef, and pork?
Look who's talking. Umar, don't make me pull up videos of you eating chicken and beef. He don't eat pork though, allegedly. That's what he said. I'll take his word for me. I think it's from the Muslim has grown up that. But I wouldn't be surprised if we see a video someday Umar eating pork, eating pig feet. I wouldn't be surprised. And chitterlings. Umar, you eat some chitterlings. Okay. I love saying that. Here we go.
Financing our own cancer. Why don't we stop doing that? You see that? Why we buy 3 times the amount of Mercedes Benzes as white folks, but yet we have less than 1/3 of the wealth of white people.
I wonder if that's true. Anybody want to fact check that? What's up, Creole? How you doing? Good to see you. I wonder if Umar's just making some of this up.
You see that? Will Smith said something. Will Smith said this. Will Smith said,
he said pig knuckles and rice. Oh my God. What are you talking about? Pig knuckles. And a hog mog. Yeah. All right, here we go.
Black people spend too much money they do not have, buying things they do not need to impress people they don't even like. Get your financial priorities in order. You will never have political.
Look who's talking, Umar. Your financials, and I agree. Yeah, we all should. But Umar, if you're going to tell people to get their financial life in order, what about this tax lien, this federal tax lien from 2016, where you owe $41,641? What about this lien, this is a civil filing in the amount of $500? What about this lien in small claims judgment where you owe $1,233? What about this state tax lien from 2017 where you owe $40,073? What about the state tax lien from the 2017, another one for $4,367? What about the state tax lien of $1,430 from 2016? What about all the bills that you didn't pay, homeboy, that for 6 years associated with these trap bandos and the amount of $38,388 past due bills, where it got so bad that the city was going to sell these shits at a sheriff's sale? What you talking about? Financial responsibility. What are you talking about? What about all the wasted money that Umar paid on tax, property tax and school tax because he didn't have his tax exempt status when he acquired these trap banners in February of 2019. And the total taxes that he had to pay, you donors had to pay, which is wasted money simply because Umar didn't have his paperwork in order for these shits. The total amount of $172,931.86. What about the $68,000 that Umar paid out of court settlement with Sister Marianne because he's a trifling ass chatty patty? All right, I rest my case. Again, Umar don't have a job, so who's paying all of this? You donors. All right.
Power until you have economic organization. We need Black Wall Street Boston. That should be the whole conversation. Black.
Yeah, he must be in Boston.
Wall Street Boston. If you're a preacher, politician, community organ, Black Wall Street Boston. That means a black.
Yeah, well, Umar, why are you raging? He up right now.
Hospital for Black Boston, a black independent school.
Oh, okay,
not
let
no
me
charter.
turn this down.
I said
Yeah,
independent school for Black
let me
Boston,
fix my lights.
Black supermarket, Black bank. We need Black Wall Street Boston.
You need a black job.
You've been organizing this school
That's what you
for
need.
many years.
Yes, sir.
A lot of people have applauded what you are doing, but it is a very difficult task. I'm
Yes. Gotcha.
So even in that,
Yeah, that's a little bit.
how do you know giving that hill that you're climbing with that
Yes, sir.
process?
Yes, sir.
Ah, man, the way they're beating you up, I might not be.
You can't stand up for African people and not expect to get beat down by African people because our conditioning from the plantation makes it so. Don't ever say, I want to fight for my people if you're not ready to fight your people. You got to fight for your people and you got to fight your people at the same time. But our struggles with the FDMG Academy, which are pretty much over at this point because renovations are just about done.
There you go. See this? I have the video back from 2023 where he said renovations were done. See how much this guy lies? 2 years later, he's saying that they were almost done.
Was not so much the acquisition of the school or the renovating of the school. We were taken advantage of by our own people.
See, here we go. Again, we're talking about Umar, how he speaks so poorly about black people. Everything that he says so far about black people is negative.
Black contractors in the renovation process. That's what slowed us down. It wasn't the money from the people. It was nothing else but the black contractors. And of course, we got some issues with some of the blacks in the bureaucracy of the city where we're located because there's always coonism going on, right? But outside of that, we good to go. It's going to be a struggle. What the No, the problem with the 50 million Negroes in America is we don't really want to be free. We don't want to be independent.
See, all this is negative. Yeah, he does. He lies all the time. His excuse. Yep. There you go. It's excuse after excuse. DJ Binky Brizzy 8118. Umar has excuses for everything. He never holds himself accountable. I can give you guys a whole list just off the top of my head of examples as to why this project is a failure. First of all, Umar's a scam artist, but I can give you a whole list. Okay, he doesn't have a plan. You guys realize Umar doesn't have a plan? He doesn't know what he's going to do tomorrow when it comes to these trap bandos and how that leads into the next day, to the next day, into the next week, into the next week, into the next week, into the next month, into the next month, into the following month, into the next year, into the next year, to the next year. He doesn't have a plan. He doesn't have organization skills. He came into this not knowing what he's doing, and he still doesn't know what he's doing, and he keeps collecting money. But he has every excuse as to why things aren't moving forward and every excuse as to why this school is not open. These trap bandos in Wilmington, Delaware. He never holds himself accountable. See, a real men, we hold ourselves accountable, and it can be very difficult to do. But I guarantee you from my own personal experience, I'll tell you with wisdom, that when you hold yourself accountable and you deal with the reality of your situation, you're one step closer to getting things turned in the right direction. And you got to come up with a plan. It doesn't matter what you're trying to achieve. You got to come up with a plan, and it has to make sense. And then you work your plan. You work hard to take steps every single day, every single week, every single month, get into the year, get into the next year, so forth and so on. Umar hasn't done that. He has no organization skills. And it applies to his own personal life, but it also applies to this trap bando situation in Wilmington, Delaware that he calls FDMG. So instead of Umar holding himself accountable, he blames everyone else. He blames the black contractor. He blames Lenon. He blames me. He blames the Cookie Crush chat. He blames the city of Wilmington. He claims his banking institute. He blames his banking institution. The list goes on and on and on. But I can give you a whole list of examples as to why Umar Johnson is a failure when it comes to this project. The truth is he doesn't want to succeed. He just wants the money. All right. All he do is make excuses. Let's go.
We don't even want to be equal. We want to be comfortable under oppression. Black people are not struggling for freedom, justice, and equality. We just want white people to like us and treat us better. If white people like us and treat us better, we don't give a damn what they do to us, how bad they miseducate our kids, and how much of our tax money they steal.
Tax money? You've been stealing black people's money for decades now. Umar, what are you talking about?
King Kong consciousness. Let's go.
Okay, this is Umar trying to hype himself up. Okay, but it's a facade. It's a facade, and more people are waking up to the facade. It's minstrelsy. He plays this role. It's a caricature.
Hey, if you don't know, we're talking to Mr. Dr. Umar. He's in here giving us some light.
If you don't know, you're gonna learn.
Yeah.
You're gonna learn today.
Yeah.
Black Wall Street, Boston.
Talk about
See,
it.
before you struggle with black folks, you got to take everybody who claim to be conscious and you got to divide them into 3 groups. Right? I'm talking about those who are in the know. So we do this and make you think they are long enough to get to where they want to go, and then they disappear on your ass. Be careful of the opportunists. They worse than the coon, because the coon.
Hey, what is Umar doing here?
You can see the coon coming. You can't see the hustler coming. Y'all know I know what I'm talking about.
What is Umar doing right here?
Boston has a black bourgeoisie, right? Y'all might have the original black bourgeoisie. In fact, y'all black bourgeoisie might be worse than our Philadelphia black bourgeoisie. But check this out. You can't control black people.
See how negative he is? But what he's doing exactly, Umar is projecting. He's talking about himself. Let me tell y'all something else. Umar's bougie. He is. He's bougie. He's. I'm not gonna say that. I was gonna be real mean. I ain't gonna do that. He's bougie. He thinks he's better than everybody else. He thinks because he has 6 degrees that he knows more than everybody else. He prances around like he's Jesus. He actually called himself the Black Christ, the Messiah. He's bougie. Umar's the bougie person. He spent 20 years in college. Thinks he's all sedity. He's just sedity. He's a sedity ass. Let me stop. He's a sedity ass chatty patty. Umar is bougie. He ain't got no street in him. None. 0. He's bougie. So what Umar's doing here is he's projecting. He's talking about hustlers. He's talking about himself. The list goes on and on and on. You guys. Some of y'all in this chat room. Let me get out of there. Let me avert my eyes. Here we go.
Black people. See, the gatekeeping Negro elite of Boston is the reason y'all got such a big gentrification problem.
See how negative he is? Everything he says about black people is negative.
The gatekeeping elite of Negro Boston is the reason why Black Boston and White Boston have one of the largest black-white inequality gaps in the entire country.
Wolves of Black Wall Street said Umar made this appearance just for the free snacks. And he snacks in this video too, because I was to get the screenshot. There was one point I think he was eating some Yoplait yogurt or something like that. All right, so there may be some truth in this. You guys got some snacks? I'll come through. All right, thank you. There we go.
You can't do that to black people unless you use black people. So we cannot be afraid to expose the coons. The coon Illuminati. You must expose them. So you got your opportunists, right? And then you got your ride or dies. They the real brothers and sisters. You understand me? They willing to go to jail for the struggle. They willing to die for the struggle. They willing to lose everything they got for the struggle. That's 1/3.
That's Umar's goons from Chicago he's talking about. Don't make me pull up the video. Hit the one.
And then your last third, they mean well, but they're not going to sacrifice anything for the people. You got to be careful with them, because if the pressure get put on them too hot, even though they think they for the people, they will fold like an old bag of potatoes. Know who you struggling with.
Old bag. Don't you bring up no old bag of potatoes, Umar, please. If you don't stop. Umar, why you doing me like this? Whole bag of potatoes.
Tap in with the Prince. Who tapping in next? Who tapping in next? Who tapping in next? Tap in with the Prince. You got a question, comment?
See, that's how I know Umar be watching these videos. Umar, he be watching these. He in the Quick Rush chat right now. Everybody say hi to Umar.
Appreciate you. All right, now be blessed.
Now, if you look in the bottom right-hand corner, it's a sack of potatoes down there. There's Mama closet.
Dr. Umar.
You guys, I didn't mean that literally. This chat room is a mess. Everybody's saying, you guys are mean. Natural Beauty, don't do that. You guys are mean. It's funny.
Don't do that.
Good followers out here. Good people.
Appreciate you, my brother. I appreciate you. All right, now be blessed.
See that? See down there? It's a sack of potato in the bottom right-hand corner. And this is a small little closet space. Why you got a sack of potato in here, Umar? Just a hoarder? You see the sack of potato? That's how I know Umar be watching these videos.
It's in ourselves.
I want, but you don't want to dig up the ground. You want water, but you don't want lightning.
And then you got your ride or dies. They the real brothers and sisters. You understand me? They willing to go to jail for the struggle. They willing to die for the struggle.
All right, watch this.
Peace and love, black family. It's the Prince of Pan
This was a
Africanism,
Chicago
Dr.
school
Umar
scam.
Johnson. I'm coming to you live and direct. He never gave me that DVD for my first lecture in Harlem. It's a connection. We celebrating the 7 years, and I run into a school. You feel me? So I'm going to do what I do. Throw on one of my Ghana-made dashikis. Y'all know how I do. Y'all know how the Prince do. Throw the dashiki on, and we're going to do what we do. But we celebrating the 7-year anniversary tonight. 7-year anniversary. It looked like I might have a spot for Philadelphia for Kwanzaa. I still need a Chicago spot. I need a spot in Chicago for Kwanzaa. I need a church or somebody to let me in so we can do Chicago.
See that? He needs a church. Remember we were talking about earlier? You see how it's all connected? I didn't even know he was going to say that in this video, but this all connects what we were talking about at the beginning of this live stream.
We could use the church we did last time, but I think we're going to need more space for Kwanzaa. Shout out to the church that hosted me in Chicago last time. We could still do them if necessary, but I think we need a little bit more space. But much respect to them for holding us down. All right, fam, so I'm about to pull out 7-year anniversary. Dr. Umar in Chicago, married at the hip for life. Looking forward to seeing all my brothers who ride with me. My Goonie goons who ride with me from Chi. The brothers in Chi ride hard. They hit me up. They say, Doc, if you have any problem, call this number. We not playing. You understand? We will do time for you. We will die for you. If you ever have a problem when you come to the city, you hit me up. So I got like 50 goons.
That's not masculine to even say some shit like that, Umar. That's all I'm saying. He ain't got no street in him. What kind of grown-ass man's walking around live stream talking, I got 50 goons on deck, but blood. Let me stop. Blood, I got 50 goons on deck, on God. Umar, you're silly. He ain't got not no ounce of street in him whatsoever. Just be playing games. Hey, and I got 50 goons lined up and they on deck. They ready to put in that work. Whatever. Anyway.
You can't do that to black people. You use black people. So we cannot be afraid to expose the coons. The coon Illuminati. You must expose them. So you got your opportunists, right? And then you got your ride or dies. They the real brothers and sisters. You understand me? They willing to go to jail for the struggle. They willing to die for the struggle. They willing to lose everything they got for the struggle.
Oh, God.
That's 1/3. And then your last third, they
put that on.
But they're not going to sacrifice anything for the people.
I remember
you
that
got to be
one
careful with them. Because if
anybody remember that one?
Them too hot.
I put that on God. I put that on my mama. I put that on my set. We used to say that. You put it on. Put that on your mama. Then I put it on the dead homie. He said, "Oh, okay, now, yeah, he's serious now." Anybody remember that? Anyway, let's keep going. Here we go.
Even though they think they for the people, they will fold like an old bag of potatoes. Know who you struggling with.
Rep your city.
That's right. And you're going to keep on seeing more of them types until we start financing ourselves.
I want, but you don't want to dig up the ground. You want water, but you don't want lightning. Frederick Douglass said a man will only
put that on everything I love, blood.
Get what he pays for.
Listen, I'm not usually speechless.
Oh, and by the way, hold on. The ancestors. Hold on. Yesterday was October 16th. That was the anniversary of the October 16th, 1859 Harper's Ferry raid led by white man John Brown.
So what?
Right? There were 5 black men who fought for John Brown, and we never talk about them 5 black men. Osborne Anderson, who was the only black survivor. Dangerfield Newby, the first to die for John Brown.
What are you talking about, Umar?
Was a black man. Lewis Sheridan Leary, Shields Green, and John Anthony Copeland. So I want to shout out those 5 black men who gave their life for us to be free. Also was the anniversary yesterday of the Honorable Minister Farrakhan's 1995 Million Man March. I was there as the newly elected Black Student Union president of Millersville University of Pennsylvania. And also yesterday, October 16th, 1968, was...
Don't make me pull up the video where you was shading the Million Man March in Farrakhan. Don't make me do it.
Don Carlos and Tommy Smith at the Olympics put up the Black Fist, Black Power, October 16th, 1968.
And I got to give a shout out to Black Boston. Today, October the 17th of 1787, Prince Hall, the father of the Black Masons, no, I am not a Mason, but the father of the Black Masons and one of the grandfathers of Pan Africanism, on this day in 1787 at the Boston legislature, Prince Hall introduced a resolution to provide black children in Boston with equal education, just like the white children in Boston, and he did it in 1787. Today, Black Power.
Now, I had one of my questions on here about the Million Man March.
Go ahead. Throw it out there.
I was there.
You was there too?
Oh, man.
I was there. We got there 5 o'clock in the morning. The sun didn't even come up. We was there when it was less than 50 people.
I think I was that early too because I was selling T-shirts, but...
I might have bought one. You sold me that extra tight Million Man March tee. It was a wife beater. That T-shirt was tightish.
Wife beater.
They were actually, I was married to Farrakhan's people, so
okay.
I had access. It was really an amazing event. My
Beautiful. Go ahead.
Is I think that we need another one. I want to get your thoughts about that.
Do we need another Million Man March? I'm not against it. But here's my constructive criticism to the Honorable Minister.
See, look at this guy.
If we're going to do it again, this time it needs to have teeth in a serious follow-up, because we did not get the Million More movement until 10 years, at least 10 years or more, after the Million Man March. We cannot bring that many black men together in the same place and not have a blueprint that we move out on immediately. We poured millions of dollars into Washington, D.C.'s white restaurants, white hotels, white transportation companies. They got rich off of us. What did we get? That's not a criticism. It's a constructive criticism. If we're going to do it again, this time it needs to have teeth. We can't hype our people up and not.
See, what has Umar organized? And all the years of me following or covering Umar and anyone else, how many? Give me something that Umar's organized. And I'm not talking about the block party, because that was organized by black women. He had those black women come out in advance. They was working on that months in advance and to get that together. What has Umar organized that's grassroots, that's mobilized black people? I'll wait. And yet he's going to take a shot. But he takes a shot at the Million Man March as if it wasn't impactful. But he sure will bring it up as a badge of honor because he was there. He was there earlier than anybody else. He told that story a long time ago. Let me see if this is the video right here.
Of education, ready to march through the streets of Homeland Security. I'm talking about a real Million Man March where we actually march and not just listen to a bunch of speeches, brothers.
See this? This is Disrespect Nation of Islam, Minister Farrakhan.
And sisters, who ready for a real million-man march?
By the way, Umar was fiending really bad in this video. This is one of the worst videos I've seen of Umar. You can look at him and tell, all right, he's having an episode. I'll just say that in this video. Yeah, he sure does. Yeah, he's jealous. Yeah, absolutely.
If a U.S. citizen murders a black, and I do not streets of the Department of Justice, the streets of the Department of Education, who's ready to march through the streets of Homeland Security? I'm talking about a real million-man march where we actually march and not just listen to a bunch of speeches, brothers and sisters. Who ready for a real million-man march? Brothers and sisters, we cannot take this laying down. Brothers and sisters, we cannot take this laying down. Brothers and sisters, if anybody has any ideas on how to combat this, please text me your...
All right, let's get back to the video.
Something to live on afterwards.
I really did come home with a different mindset, though.
A lot of us did. A lot of us did.
But there was nothing for me to grab onto.
No infrastructure came out of it. You understand? That's not a criticism of the minister because we were all there together. Right. But if we're going to do it again, right? Hindsight is always 20/20 for all of us. Yes. If we look back, I'll look back on things I've done. I could have done better. You understand? Sure. We in this together. But if we're going to do it again, put some teeth on it.
Using your word, it has to have structure.
It got to have structure.
That's what. So it has to be structured from top to bottom.
Yes, indeed.
Well, when we spoke of organization. I just thought that was amazing to get so many brothers in that stage at that time in terms of organization. And I believe we did that based upon Farrakhan. Do you think there should be some, is there a voice that is as powerful, or is there someone who can bring us together like that? You sound like that, brother, right now. I'm just saying.
Go ahead. Well, you're talking to the most requested black scholar on the planet Earth. You are talking to the number.
Here we go. Here we go to narcissism. All right, narcissism, and also trying to present himself with all these accomplishments and self-appointed titles. None of that really, none of it applies to Umar. But excuse me, this is his way of validating himself as some sort of great black leader. He's going to make the difference because Farrakhan couldn't.
One Pan Africanist on the planet Earth. You are talking to the #1 black school psychologist on the planet Earth. You're probably talking.
Okay, Umar is not a black psychologist. He's not a psychologist. He's not a school psychologist. Okay, to be clear.
Talking to one of the most popular speakers for our youth on the college campus.
What in the world? Oh my God. This chat room is crap. What's up, information man? Shout out, salute, sir. I did post your video, the ones you did on Umar in his bathrooms. I posted that one yesterday. All right, shout out to brother information man. What did Lenon say? I'm just looking in this chat room. Let's see. Lenon, he was insulted. Let's see. He was insulted. You see how he looked? Yeah. Because Umar, that's that ego. His ego is so huge. Right? He lives in fantasy land.
Campus in history. So if I'm not at the table, it ain't a real table.
See this guy?
I'm just gonna keep it a buck.
That's what you said.
He up here snacking. Umar big ass up here snacking, talking about if I'm not at the table eating me some greens and hog maw, ain't no table. If I'm not at the table eating me some fried rice and chicken wings, so Umar cut it out. He really think he's something. Yeah, he is. Umar he's up here snacking and smacking. And he does that too. I have so many videos of him snacking and smacking. You need to close your mouth all the way around. Not just when you're eating. Just close your mouth, Umar. I think Jam Jack. I'm tripping. Let's go.
This is Marcus Garvey talking to you today.
See this guy? Boy, Umar, he a trip.
So why don't you King Kong?
Marcus Garvey live in your mama closet. Cut it out.
I'm going to King Kong.
What did he say? I don't even know what he said.
King Kong.
I'm going to King Kong.
You'll be like this. Hey.
He's going to King Kong? Or what did he say?
Here's what we doing. Meet me.
And I do want to say this. We have to evolve away from Eurocentric structure of leadership.
Okay.
Back to African centered. What I mean by that is I don't want one man at the top, not even me. I might be the spokesperson.
What you talking about, Umar?
but the leadership is a team. It is a council. No more one man at the top, because they can either be corrupted or killed.
What in the world? Umar said Garvey King Kong. That's crazy.
Malcolm, Martin, Mega. We don't need that no
Carter
more. We need men, women, elders, and
I
youth.
don't know,
You
Carter,
feel me? It's a team.
Yes.
So if you go to jail, we still rocking and rolling.
Okay.
He go to jail, we still rocking and rolling. I get taken out, we still rocking and rolling. No more Messiah. We got to get out of the Messiah complex. One of the weaknesses of Black American political thought, we approach our political issues through the lens of religion. In religion, you wait for God to send you a savior. God sent us Abraham, Moses, Jesus, Muhammad, right? Black people are waiting for God to send them a savior. But Chinese are making their leaders. The white man is making their leaders. The Asians and Arabs are making their leaders. We're supposed to be making and training out. Stop waiting for your leader to fall out the sky. It ain't going to happen. You got to groom them yourself.
Wah right here.
Absolutely, brother Wah.
So, but if, I mean, it does, I mean, I was enlightened by Farrakhan. He said,
So was I.
Let's go.
And we should have went, and we did.
But we don't
I'm not saying it shouldn't have happened.
If that voice,
I loved it.
If that voice is you right now, because you are speaking that
I'm one of the voices.
Unadulterated, organic Black truth.
One of the voices.
One of the voices.
Yeah,
but
there you go.
I would nominate you for
Man, the glaze is, it's, boy, incredible glaze going on.
that. Right? If you said let's go, I would go.
Well, if it's a microphone and I'm not on it, take the microphone away. But I'm one of them. Because again, I have to lead by example.
Yes, sir.
Which is to say, don't put me up there alone. Where the two sisters at? Where the two elders at? Where the two brothers at? Where the two youths at? It should be a force of leadership.
You brought an interesting point because they end up destroying our Messiahs.
Listen, y'all ain't talking about nothing. Y'all just talking shit. That's all. Host too. You ain't talking about nothing. All this blackity black talk. You just kicking it, talking shit. It reminded me of that scene in Do the Right Thing where the old men was sitting on the corner. One guy said, I'm going to do this and I'm going to do that. The other guy was said, you ain't going to do shit. That's a funny scene. That's what this is right here. All right, let me listen.
Exactly. That's why you don't put them out there alone.
Can't go that way
I
again.
wonder, because I think most people in the room
What's up,
would
Missy
see you
Dawn?
as that next person. Do you ever have fear for your life?
There's a bunch of old winos.
When I study Martin and Malcolm, one of the things you often hear from those who walked with them, most of whom are ancestors as well
That
now,
room is crazy.
they say they got to a point where they got so tired of being
Rest in
worried
peace, Robin Harris.
about when the bullet would come that some closest to them felt like they secretly prayed to go. In other words, they had got so exhausted by the threat of death.
Right.
Just take me and end this.
What are you talking
I don't
about?
ever want to get to the point where I'm exhausted by the threat. I get the threats. You understand? I get the threats. But I try to, in honor of Malcolm and Martin, and Medgar, and Fred Hampton, and George Jackson.
What the fuck is he talking about? No, real talk. I don't mean it because I was going to drop an N-bomb. I told myself I would stop. Because I gave myself a couple of them for that 1 year, and then I went 4 over my quota, so I couldn't do any for the next couple of years. And I said, let me stop. Let me just stop. But what is he talking about? It's just so disorganized, just talking about nothing.
I try, and Patrice Lumumba, and Amilcar Cabral, and
Kunta Kinte, and Michael Jackson, and Michael Jordan, and Mike Tyson. Here you go.
Didn't come out I tried to discipline myself away from the fear.
What is he talking about? What is this guy talking about?
Because the minute you get consumed with the fear, you're no longer useful to the movement.
You're no longer focused.
You're no longer focused.
So my question to you, I'm sorry, Cap.
Mm-hmm.
Since we were talking about putting a panel together.
Yes, sir.
How's your relationship with the Honorable Louis Farrakhan?
We've never met in person, but I have tremendous respect for him.
Okay, but
Umar up here with food in his mouth talking about, I'm respectful. We ain't never read person, but I do have, the minister, he can say, Umar, he ain't got no manners, no home training. He's like a gerbil. When they said he's like a hamster in his hamster cage.
Reach out and say, hey, let's have a conversation. If he reached out and said, hey, I heard you want to do something, would you?
Listen, Minister Farrakhan he's elderly. He wasn't trying to deal with Umar even when he was younger. He ain't trying to deal with Umar now. Cut it out. You guys, all y'all on here is on some bullshit. Umar ain't done nothing. Damn hamster. They said he live in a hamster. His house is like a hamster cage. I said, damn. Hamsters are filthy. They just be shitting and they move the little thing over and shit. And they go to the other side, move the little thing over and shit again. All right.
You go sit with him?
I think we can have that conversation. Yes.
Yeah, I think you two should meet, and you can tell them the structure should happen, and how the panel should be. Besides,
yeah, Umar gonna tell. Okay, whatever.
As all these bougie politicians with their slick hair and not there for the people.
Ultra perm, Jerry curl.
See, here we go. All negative about black people.
That's curl.
Right.
Has Umar said one positive thing about black people so far? Okay, if Umar said one positive thing, hit the 1. If you haven't heard Umar say one positive thing, hit the 2.
They're there for the clicks and not for the people.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So I think that should happen.
Yes, sir.
Because I think we need that. And you know what I think we need? I think each city should have a 1,000-man march, as you say, to come together.
Oh, shut the fuck! You ain't gonna do shit. Shut your ass up. I think each city should have a 1,050-man march, and then what we're gonna do is we all gonna, when we get together, we're gonna then all of us we're gonna march to the next city, and then that'll go to 2,100. Then we're gonna go to the next city, and then we're gonna just keep rising and rising, and then we're gonna keep walking until we get to Washington D.C. By that time, we're gonna have about 50 million black men, and then we're gonna get on a bus. You ain't gonna do nothing. Cut it out.
Right.
So the youth can stop killing each other, and understand you're killing yourself.
And Jonathan's that voice here. He has a very strong voice here.
Nah, nobody likes me.
But you do. People
he hungry. Look at him.
Your energy, dog.
And what's the key? The key is to keep the voice that you choose financially independent.
Yeah, send me a check.
A big reason why we struggle is the voices we choose don't stay financially independent.
Right.
If you're working for white people, you can't lead black people. They got to be financially independent.
I need to change my picture, don't I? That's when I didn't have all this gray. Well, that's a long time ago.
There are a lot of times, like when you talk about the NAACP, and I hate to beat them up.
Founded by white people.
You are up here eating peanuts and shit. Why you on here being interviewed and you snacking on peanuts and shit? I think Umar's eating peanuts while he's talking. Come on, no home training. What's up, lady? He ain't got no home training.
Controlled by white people.
We know, we understand the money that is behind the organization, and we always thought it was cool. Like, oh man, these wonderful people. That was so damn nice of them to give us and donate money, and they always put it in their history books. That's why we know it.
When I talk about the NAACP and the Urban League, I'm talking about the organization and the structure and the history. There's good people in them. I don't
know what you talking about, T-Laws. I didn't hear nothing. Maybe I missed something, but everybody else is saying it too. He about to start talking mess about the NAACP because he does this a lot. Watch.
Good people in the NAACP. I know good people in the Urban League. The problem is those organizations were not founded to liberate blacks.
Here we go.
Here's the question I would have for the CEO of the NAACP and the Urban League,
especially
the
that's
NAACP.
So sad. Because, cats are savage. They really are. Like, they'll go into their instinct and they don't give a shit. Dogs can kind of control themselves a little bit more, but cats, when they get into that instinct thing, they'll kill anything. And they don't give a shit. They'll be playing with it and throwing it up and playing with it, carrying it, bringing it to you. They're savage. So lovely Elizabeth said, I had a hamster when I was a child and my cat killed it. Why are you laughing? He was like, yeah, get it. Damn. No, I'm just playing. All right, let's keep going. But cats, boy, they will go off.
Y'all spend about $10 to $20 million every presidential election cycle getting black people to vote for white people, right? $10 to $20 million every 4.
Yeah, you're right, Crystal. Umar had the nerve to auction off a dinner. Remember, he was talking about $500 a date with the doctor, whatever. The queens have to pay for it. And then, so you're going to pay. So he said, I paid not to eat with him. I couldn't watch. Yeah. Any of you women, could you stand that? But Umar sitting at a table just. That's before he started eating. That's before you even get started. All right, let's go. Here we go.
Yes, you ain't built a school. You ain't built a hospital. You ain't built a bank. You ain't.
Hey, Umar ain't built none of this either.
Built the suit. How can you spend that kind of money on trying to get black people to vote for white people, and you've built no infrastructure in our community? You are a complete waste of time and energy.
See this? All negative about black people.
Until you start tackling,
which includes black organizations.
Tackling the issues that matter to black people. But they can't because they're paid by white people.
But they can't focus.
Tap, I want to go back.
The best thing, one of the best decisions I made in my life is I never, ever got caught up with the white man's money. Never. And that's why my tongue is still free.
Wait a minute, you took out a gang of student loans. Umar, you have hundreds, I'm sure of it. You have hundreds of thousands of dollars in student loan. That's white man's money, homeboy. What you talking about? Based upon your rhetoric, you was in college for 20 years. It's hundreds of thousands of dollars. You don't be paying bills, so just interest alone, ain't no telling. What about your tax exempt status? That's white man. And that's for the money. So that when you get that money for the school scam, you don't have to pay taxes on it. Well, that's white man privilege that you've applied for.
Tap.
I say what I want. I go where I want. I do what I want. Black power.
Tap, when you had asked
Yeah, you go right back to your mama clothes.
about structure, that's why he got us as the security team, that we move a whole
We're slurping and shit.
different way.
Yes.
So when he comes to town, he's calling Brother Chris when everybody want to be my best friend when he comes, because Brother Chris gonna make sure you safe because I'm good with people.
Yes.
He also already know I could grab the microphone and he did it.
Yes.
He practiced. Don't
Umar eating grapes and shit. This guy over here talking, just running his mouth.
just interview Umar, interview Wawa, your city councilor, interview
Umar Johnson. Let me get caught up in this because I'm getting tired of this guy. We're about halfway through. I got to take a break from this. I only got 45 more minutes. Oh, actually, I can go for it. I can go for another hour. Someone said he looks like a black lumberjack. What's up, Giannis? Okay. Let's see. Corruption Point says, why is some morbidly obese homeless man with a scraggly beard shouting at us about money? Yeah, it's just a total contradiction. It amazes me that there are people who see Umar as some sort of great black leader, but what you're saying, it is true. Unfortunately, I can pull up a video too where, and I'm not here to shame him, but Umar, he's not in good health. And see, at our age, because I'm around Umar's age, at our age, we should take our health serious because anything can happen at any given time. Real talk. More recently, I've been seeing different things on the news. There was a running back that used to play for. I remember him too. I think he played for the Buccaneers, if memory serves me correctly. And he passed away. He was young, but it had some sort of incident that took place with police officers. Things like this happen. Even with a rest in peace, D'Angelo. At our age, we have to do our best to take care of ourselves. We should anyway, just in general, no matter how old you are. But at any given, even for those of us who try our best to take care of ourselves, at any day it can happen, right? But Umar, he doesn't take care of himself. He never really has. You can go. I have videos from back in the day, especially when that money was coming in seriously. Where Umar, he got so big, his face looked like it was going to pop. I mean, it was just so bloated and it just huge. He doesn't take care of himself at all. Yes, he is homeless. He's been homeless since 2019. Yeah, his beard is scraggly. But for some reason, he's the person that black people accept as not only a black leader, but he's going to tell you what you need to be doing with your money. Meanwhile, he don't even have a job or a legitimate business. Thank you for the super chat, Corruption Point. Let's see. Lewis says, I believe he did have an FBI file. That yelling and screaming is part of the character. It's supposed to convey seriousness and militancy to sway folks. All right. Well, this is what we're talking about just with the conspiracy theory aspect. I think that the screaming is, in some cases, it's a tactic of manipulation. Umar has a history of that. He'll overtalk people. He'll yell and scream. But also, for Umar, I think a lot of what he says, he doesn't believe in, and he lacks confidence anyway as a person. So the yelling kind of, in his own mind, I guess, it's meant to kind of make up for the difference. And so people hear him being so boastful and yelling things that for some reason they think that, okay, he's serious and he knows and he believes it because he's yelling it, but that's not true at all. I'll say that. The other thing though too, I think with Umar, that there are some serious mental health issues, and there are times where he gets into these modes where he's manic, and there's times he gets to these modes where he's depressive. And in this video, Umar is getting more towards the manic, but I think he's forcing it because he's trying to fit into that character as if he's, really in control. He really believes in what he's saying. He's trying to move people with his words, but it's not quite coming off the way that he would like for it to come off. Okay, so I look for these things with Umar. I think that's part of the shouting too. And then there's also another dynamic where Umar, he just gets so overwhelmed with things and he can't handle it emotionally. And then he gets to raging, and then you hear him yelling that way too. I'm gonna tell y'all something. The video where Umar's cleaning toilets, there's a section in there. It was probably about maybe a 30-second section, but I think it's one of the most important things for people to see. And that's when Umar, you can tell he was very upset, and he kept saying F that or something like that. And if you listen to his voice when he's doing that, you can tell he's like he's really, really upset. He can't control himself. It almost sounded like, I don't know. It was just something about it. It was. That's what people need to see, because that's closer to who Umar really is. Okay? Again, I don't think that he's an FBI agent. I don't think he's a CIA agent or anything like that. I think he's too erratic to be put in a position where he's at, because there would be no way for any organization to try to control Umar, because he's out of control. He's totally out of control, and that therefore he's a liability. Okay? Thanks for super chat. D-Boy sent in a super sticker. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. User Device says, what in the nuclear F does plantation mindset even mean? He rattles off without actually saying anything. He sounds smart till you think about his words. Yeah, the plantation mindset, this just taps into old rhetoric. When people say things like it's like you're on a plantation, listen, ain't none of us been enslaved up over here. None of us. My parents weren't enslaved either. My grandparents are. Now, if you go back far enough, yeah, you can say that they were, but that don't mean that you are or that you were. Let's be clear about that. That's a serious problem in themselves. We say, yeah, well, they enslaved us. No, they didn't enslave you. They ain't no we. They enslaved your ancestors. Okay, let's be real about that. So no, you weren't enslaved. Okay, but Umar still holds on to that rhetoric. It's antiquated rhetoric. He's not the only one. So when he throws in things like plantation mindset, it's kind of taps into historically where our ancestors, some of our ancestors at least, they were enslaved, and that by being enslaved and being on plantation, there was a mentality that was associated with that. But then here we are, he's projecting that into 2025. It's ridiculous. It's just totally ridiculous. But that's antiquated rhetoric, and Umar uses that all the time. It's a manipulative tactic more than anything else. Thank you, User Divide. Black Wolf says, where's the $2 vid Queen's dig with the Queen's dig with him video? I couldn't find the $2 one. I can't even remember which video that was. But I was looking at my notes. Let me try one more time. Yeah, it's not gonna come up. But I checked. Let me try one other thing. I didn't try with the $sign. No. Yeah, it's not coming up in my notes. If you know what the video is, you can email it to me and I can pull it up. But I looked it up earlier, and it just was not coming up. Yeah, but there's a video Umar was talking about. He'll accept $2. I have videos where he's saying a penny. I also have screenshots of Umar where he's on his Facebook page. He was asking people to send $5. Some sort of it was a scheme, $5 to reach a goal and blah blah blah. Wait, is this it right here? No, this just says $20 bill. Yeah, it's not coming up. Okay, but if you know what the video is, just let me know. You can email it to me. Thanks, Black Wolf. Debo also said, I'm calling him Mr. Umar from now on. Yeah, I don't call Umar Dr. Umar. I don't think I ever have. I may have earlier on, but I don't remember ever calling him Dr. Umar, because he's not in the sense of an actual practicing professional. He's not anything. Okay, he's not licensed. He holds no certifications. To this day, he's still lying to people. On his Instagram page, I checked it before we start this live stream. He has on there, he's a certified school psychologist, he's a school certified principal, all this other stuff. None of that's true. He holds no certification, no current certifications in 2025. He didn't have one in 2024 either. He's a liar. Thank you, D-Boy, for the super chat. So I've never called him doctor, for the best of my memory. I may have earlier on. I can't remember. Enterprise says he ain't a doctor. He ain't Umar. He's Jermaine. Yeah, you just call him Jermaine. I ain't gonna do him like that though, Enterprise. I'll call him Umar Johnson, but I ain't gonna call him Jermaine. I do sometimes. Okay. Well, I call him Little Jermaine when I call him Jermaine. Thanks, Enterprise. Jam 7 Jack 5 says Umar snacking. Oh, I got that one earlier. Yeah, I got that one earlier. Thank you. Leo Poor says fantasy football consciousness. Real talk. I used to play fantasy football and fantasy basketball. Yeah, I used to love that. But then I got older and I didn't have time. Anyway, thank you, Leo Poor 3024. This is way back in the day. Allen Iverson, Eldon Campbell. I mean, Nesterovich. I used to pick him up for some reason. I don't know why I used to pick him up all the time. Just ridiculous. Anyway, thank you, Leo Poor, for a super chat. 100% real man says, I'm leading the family to the butter biscuits factory. Let's go, family. All right. That's like, Umar. That's what he's going to do. Thank you for being a member for 3 months. And then Corruption Point says, Umar wants us to be racist, bitter victims who just give our money to grifters like him. He wants us in perpetual financial bondage. Yeah. And he wants black people in this mindset of perpetual victimhood. And the perpetual victimhood that's what he wants to tap into. Because if you always see yourself as a victim, and Umar, if you look at it, that's what he presents himself as a victim. He never holds himself accountable. It's always someone else's fault. But the idea in terms of Umar, his approach is to put people in a subservient position, black people, to make them believe that they're a perpetual victim. So there's always someone else victimizing them, whatever it may be, because he changes it from time to time. But then he becomes the solution that is supposed to come in like this Christ figure to save the day and solve all the problems. He can't even clean the toilet. So how is he going to solve anybody's problem? He don't even know how to be a father to his children. How you going to solve? He don't even know how to commit to a woman. I don't get that. Boy, that's crazy. Any of you men living like that, you need to check yourself. You missing out too. It's just too much. It's too much shit you got to, too much stuff you got to deal with. Running around being a male hoe. It ain't worth it. What's for some poom poom? Anyway, thank you, Corruption Point. Have to go to Andrea. Andrea says Umar isn't smart. What he does is lurk on the internet. This is so true. This is so true. What he does is lurk on the internet, stealing information and presenting it as his own. He's been doing this for years, decades. Same as he steals info from other books. He's a danger. Who sent him and why? Let me give you guys, because this brother passed away recently. Juana Kunjufu. If you guys go back and you go look at early Umar Johnson and listen to what he was talking about, it's sourced from Juana Kunjufu, rest in peace. He passed away April 21st of 2025. It's sourced from Juana Kunjufu's, a lot of it from Juana Kunjufu's Countering the Conspiracy to Destroy Black Boys. And there was 3 volumes. I read all of them because I was in college at that time. He wrote another book too. There was another one too. He actually wrote quite a few books, but those 3, and there was another one that I read too. I can't remember what that 4th one was. The point is that he's been a plagiarist for a very long time. A lot of his stuff came from Dr. Amos Wilson, also from and rest in peace, but also I can't remember her name right now. The sister, Dr. Frances Cress Welsing. So yeah, this is what Umar's done for many, many years, And that's why if you guys go and look inside of his books, there's no source material because he doesn't want to give anyone credit for anything that he's taken, but then he doesn't have any research-based material anyway that's coming from his own research. He doesn't have that. See, so for decades now, he's been plagiarizing and taking what other people say. And then what's interesting is that I have videos where Umar's talking about how black people in the black conscious community, they're taking his stuff and stealing his stuff. No. See, let me explain something to y'all. The best way to know if Umar is saying something that he came up with is if it sounds ridiculous, then Umar came up with that shit. I'm serious. I'm not joking here. If it sounds ridiculous, Umar came up with that shit. But if it sounds like something like kind of sort of scholarly, I guarantee that's something that Umar, he's taken from someone else. He's been doing this for decades. What about Dr. Joy DeGroot? She wrote a book, and she's really built a career off of this book in terms of as a lecturer, but she's a professor too. Her book was post-traumatic slave syndrome. Well, what Umar did was he said post-traumatic slave disease. He steals her intellectual property. He tried to steal the intellectual property of Tariq Nasheed. He tried to steal the intellectual property of Sister Marianne Lorient. You guys see a pattern here? And not only did Umar start to say things like post-traumatic slave disease, sometimes he would say disorder, he then extended, he would say things like post-traumatic relationship disorder or relationship disease. He's a plagiarist. But in my opinion, most of his early work, or his old early talking points, I should say, because it's not his work, his early talking points when he did lectures, it was the source from Joanna Kunjufu. Thank you, Andrea, for the super chat. I appreciate it. And then User 225 says, after Toilet Tune Day, I'll call him Jeremy. All right, Jermaine. All right. Thank you, 225. All right, let's get back to the video here. Here we go. Thank you guys, everyone, for tuning on in. I hope you all enjoy the show. If you are enjoying the show, please hit that. Oh, I shouldn't say please. Okay, I don't want to beg. Go on and hit that like button. All right, we're at 659 likes. We have already reached our goal there. The poll question is, when Umar Johnson speaks about black people, what percentage of Umar Johnson's rhetoric is negative? Okay, we have 1,539 votes so far. 6% said 25% of his rhetoric is negative. 12% said 50% of his rhetoric is negative. 40% said 75% of his rhetoric is negative. And 42% said 100% of his rhetoric is negative. Now, I will say this, that based upon what I've heard so far in this interview that we're watching right now, 100% of his rhetoric has been negative. All right, let's go.
Brother Chris,
That's right.
who already keep introducing me
That's
to
right.
the whole hood. I already practiced it and said, I'm coming up there to get back on the radio because I'm coming to see JG. That's why I'm coming up there, and I already
What are you talking about? Man, this guy.
know everybody in there. So we practice what we hearing him preach, and we just a local representation and an extension of what he's doing. Including, he always trying to recruit us to come down to Delaware, be in security at the school, teach at the school, and everything else, because you understand.
Wait, how are you going? How are you going to teach at the school when there's no school in Delaware? What are you talking about? That's not a school. A school is a place of learning. Those are abandoned buildings. Trap bandos. They look horrible too. Mold all over the place. All dilapidated, stinking, sizzle all in the toilet. What kind of man got? Let me stop.
The concept of team, but the piece he said to JG has to be echoed in this here setting, which is financially, physically, and politically.
What is this guy talking about?
The leaders we pick, you have to get behind them. Politically, if I tell you the person to go for,
man, if you don't shut your I'm sorry, this guy just keep going. Umar's like, yeah, powerful, and snacking. Thank you, Rivka. Hope you all enjoy the show. Make sure you hit that like button, okay?
Or Wawa with your goofy self. Vote for Wawa. Stop going for them people that ain't in our interest. Financially, they're going to financially castrate us. So therefore, you need to put your dollars behind your leaders. Then the last part is physically. If you go to put your hands on our brother, our elected official, we're going to do something to you.
That's right.
We're all the way for that.
Ski mask
and look, and it'll act like Donald Trump and
you ain't gonna do shit. Cut it out.
Kim
Y'all just too grown to be talking like this.
When that little North Korean took the cap off that nuclear bomb, Donald Trump said, turn that airplane back around. With a bully, you got to let him know, I got the same fire over here as you. The reason why, but back to the finances, when you don't have the financial dollars, you can't stand up against a well-oiled machine. You just can't financially do it. Y'all see that with court cases. They give you a new court date because they know you can't even afford to take off.
Right.
And so you get ready to catch a case because you can't even afford to miss work.
Yeah.
But I didn't want you to pass that up. I wanted that to be back in the
No, that needed to be said.
It's already extended. It's already extended.
I appreciate that.
Because, see, you got to realize, we have 5 major problems in black America. I don't care if you're in Boston. I don't care if you're in Atlanta, where I'm going to be next week. I don't care if you're in Alabama, Tennessee, Oakland, Phoenix, Detroit, Chicago. 5 problems. Mass incarceration, miseducation, gentrification and homelessness, police genocide and brutality, and economic apartheid. Any black person running for office.
Okay, Umar, you're homeless, so what are you talking about? You're going to raise millions of dollars and you're homeless.
Any politician with a mega church who is not tackling one of those problems in a major way is a complete coon.
Here we go, all negative.
But you just say those problems again because I think every community has those issues.
And they rarely get tackled. Miseducation. You know why miseducation don't get tackled? Because the school district pays off the community activists to never hold it accountable. Let me say it again.
Come on, Doc.
Let me say it again.
Come on,
There's
Doc.
black people in Boston being paid off by Boston public schools to not hold them accountable for the suspensions, the special education, the low test scores, the dropout rates, the lack of resources. They pay you off to stay out. That's why we never fix the schools. Gentrification, right? That's the
Umar, you never fixed these trap banners in Wilmington.
banks. Why aren't our black elected officials writing law to demand that the banks in Boston that holds the people's tax dollars, if you're not doing a certain amount of business, if you ain't giving a certain amount of loans to black Boston, you can't hold the city's money no more. We are literally being railroaded by the very banks that hold our personal money and our city money. Shouldn't be going down. Police. Why don't we have more black police in Boston? And why do they get so many police from outside of the city of Boston? You know why? Because if there's ever a revolt, they want to make sure the police can't side with the people. That's why they bring white people into the black community instead of black folks. Okay?
What is he talking about?
Exactly. Then you got your mass incarceration. When is the last time there was an overhaul of the state of Massachusetts criminal code? And why aren't the black elected officials demanding a complete review and overhaul of the state of Massachusetts criminal code? See that? Because they get paid not to get involved. That's why you don't take white people's money. Because when you take white people's money to run for office, they give you a list of things that you better never talk about. They own you.
That's why we have black radio. They
Gotta have black radio.
Black radio. Someone else. You and I couldn't be here today.
That's right.
Your point is well made. That's why I love being a part of this black music thing here.
Yes,
we
sir.
are talking to Dr. Benjamin. You want to give me your
Benjamin?
Full, no. Give him your full name.
Benjamin O. Davis?
No.
Benjamin Banneker?
They was gonna call Umar Benjamin Crump. Umar be talking all kind of shit about Benjamin Crump too. They don't even know who Umar is. Boy, this is crazy. What's this guy's name with this plaid shirt on eating all these grapes?
This is Dr. Umar Ifatunde, the Prince of Pan Africanism, King Kong Consciousness, and I'm live in Boston, Massachusetts.
So let me ask you, because we're talking about the police. So Trump's got the National Guard.
Umar been eating this whole time.
I'm not even sure if they're still in D.C.
The ICE raids.
But Memphis, you're talking Chicago and other places. What are your thoughts on that? Because I know there's two sides. You got folks saying, okay, well, crime is gone. And then there's the other side where as if, they do get rid of the crime. There's this thing that the state or the city's going to lose funding. So
we never get the funding any damn way. See, I don't get concerned about nothing. We don't see it anyway. Can we be real? Do we ever see the money? I don't care. Now, you got a lot of black people saying, we got to fight back against the ICE raid because if they do it.
No, it's true. They ain't talking about nothing. They ain't doing nothing either. It's like old black men getting together and just talking. That's all. That's all it is. And then, I don't know, for whatever reason, I think they think that this is some sort of a revolutionary act because you're on a radio show. This is 2025. What you talking about? See, now I'm not surprised. Umar, he's done a lot of these types of radio shows. Right? They ain't talking about nothing. Thank you, Andrea. U25 also says, Umar Johnson is so outdated. Black people are incredibly diverse. I agree. As an Asian, I think it's awesome how black people continue to contribute to the anime community. Umar Johnson could never. Yeah, I'm not familiar with anime. One of my sons, he watches anime because there's stuff he be watching on Netflix. I don't get it. I really don't. The guys are one guy's, I don't know, he's probably about 40 feet tall and he's red and he has big muscles and a little head. Anyway, I don't know if black people are making up that. I don't know. Yeah, but black people, we do more than just, what Umar tried. We're not all so. Let me stop. No, it's true. We're a diverse people. It's just Umar, what he tends to do is he tries to minimize everything to fit into a box. But it's easier to control people if you make people think that they all fit into a smaller box as opposed to looking at the diversity amongst black people. That's one of the biggest problems and biggest challenges. And it's not just Umar who does. There's other groups of people that if one black person does something, they assume that all black people are that way. That's why whenever there's something that happens in the news, like, something really bad, and they don't know who did it. They don't tell people. I said, and my mom's like, I just hope it's not a black person. Not because I'm thinking that it is, because I know that if it is, then all of a sudden people are going to be, yeah, let's see how black people are, blah, blah, blah. No, we're a diverse group of people. Anybody else do that? No, because I know how people are. They think that all black people are the same. So if one does something real crazy, then they think that we all like that. But see, Umar, he wants to box black people into that too, right? But the truth is that we're a diverse group of people. Thanks you to 225. And am I wrong for doing it? I do that. When things happen, I say, I just hope it's not, because once they show that it's a black person, they already know how people are going to be, looking at me like I did it. Anyway. Thanks you, 225. What's up, Seth? Seth says all money is white people money. Who did Umar give black people's money to acquire the bandos? White people. When Umar rents these rental cars because he didn't even have his own vehicle, who's he giving all this money to? White people. I mean, Umar spends, over the last 11 years, he spent it could be hundreds of thousands of dollars on rental cars at this point. Rental cars are expensive, especially if you're doing it throughout the year. It's expensive. So it could be, I'm sure it's over 100,000, but it could be 200,000 at this point. But where does all that money go over the last 11 years? White people. That's a lot of money. No, to think about it, over 11 years, it's about 10 grand a year. Can you see Umar spending 10 grand a year on rental cars? Yeah. When Umar pays bills, even though he rarely does, who's he paying to? He's paying to white people. When he paid them taxes on these trap bands, let me rephrase it. I'm tripping. When you donors pay for Umar's rental cars, that's money going to the white man, according to Umar. When you guys pay for Umar to go out and eat, that's paying for the hotels, motel, that's going to white people. That's the white man. That's y'all's money because Umar don't have a job. Well, same thing when Umar's taking trips. Okay, who's that? The airlines. Well. And this goes on and on and on with this guy. The taxes, he wasted you donors' money, $172,931.86 on taxes that that y'all would not have had to pay if Umar simply had his paperwork in order. That was back in 2019. He didn't have his paperwork in order. He didn't get his paperwork in order until later on in 2020. And by that time, it's not retroactive. So y'all had to pay $172,931.86 to the white man, according to Umar. All right. Thanks, Seth. You're such a hypocrite. Let's go.
To the Latinos, right. They'll then do it to blacks. I say nonsense. They've been doing it to blacks.
Okay, so Tippity Tab says, can you play Show Me Love if possible at 700 likes? Where we at with the likes? Well, we're already at 700. I'll tell you what, if we get to 800, I'm going to queue it up right now. All right, I'm going to queue it up right now. If we get to 800 likes, I will play California Love. All right. All right, here we go. And thanks for a super chat. Also, thanks. I don't think I thanked. Thanks, Seth, and thanks to user 225. Did I miss anybody? And Andrea. Let's see. Did I get this one too? The saddest thing is if Umar were to bury his ego, check his lust, and cultivate his willpower, he would be a force to be reckoned with. The thing, Naeem, I think at this point that ship has sailed. That even if Umar was able to get things turned around, and that would take some time. I don't know how long it would take. I mean, it's taken me close to a decade. It's getting there. Not quite, but it's getting there. See, the thing is that there's the issue of time. And there's also the issue of Umar and his reputation. He's burned so many bridges. I don't know how long it would take Umar to get on the right path, because he has the substance abuse issues. He has the mental health issues. His ego is it's just inflated. Again, the narcissism, this goes on and on and on. He's also lazy too. That's a huge factor. I would think that it would take many years for him to get things on track to where he can actually be in a position to be a force to be reckoned with. I'm talking about in reality, okay, not him saying that he is. But here's the thing: there's also the issue of time. He's 51 years old now, and he's not going to be able to even do what he's doing physically for much longer. That's what I'm saying. I think a year and a half, this is going to be over with. Because even physically, you can't run yourself this way indefinitely. Just life doesn't work that way. Time doesn't work that way. And your body doesn't work that way either. The older you get, you know what I'm talking about. So now I think with Umar, I think that ship has passed. I think that doesn't mean that Umar can't get his life in order. I don't think he will, to be clear, but that doesn't mean that he couldn't make an effort and take steps to get his life in order and still be functional in society. But the idea of him becoming, this powerful force that should be reckoned with, and he's this great black leader. I think that's too late for him for that. I think that ship sailed a long time ago, and part of it is just the age. Umar, and clearly Umar has slowed down. I've slowed down too, and thank the Lord, because I've been praying about that. I just want things to just slow down, so that I'm not always running and trying to get things done, and taking care of this, taking care of that, taking care of the kids, doing this, running, because I'm always running, doing stuff. But I would like to be in a position sooner than later to where I don't have to be doing that, because time is the factor. And the way that the body works is you can't expect to just continue to run like that forever. Well, Umar, most definitely. I saw a video, Naeem, and I didn't watch it, but I saw the beginning of it where Umar was walking on stage for one of the camp. He was on a college campus. And just how he walked, I can tell he's not going to be able to do this for much longer. Yeah, time is serious. Time is not to be played with. Time is life. Life is time. Time is money. Money is therefore is life. And Umar, he's just not in a good position on any of those levels. And at this age, there's no way that he can expect, or anyone can expect him to continue to do this indefinitely. All right, thanks for the super chat, brother Naeem. Okay, I think I'm all cut up inside the chat room. Let's start winding this down too, because I got about 40 minutes, I think. Okay, we should get through this. Here we go.
Second of all, you got to understand that our situation is peculiar to the white man. It's unique because we're the only non-white people in America who cannot be deported. Everybody can be sent home. Right. Asians can be sent to Asia. Chinese can be sent to China. Latinos can be sent back to South America. Right. But slavery destroyed your spiritual and psychological connection to your ancestral homeland. So the only way you can get rid of black people is by a system of internal genocide. Now, as far as the ICE raids, I wish well for the Latino community. I don't like what's happening to them. I don't think mothers should be separated from children. I don't think fathers should be separated from their families.
Yeah, but Umar, you're a deadbeat. You shouldn't be speaking on this, period.
But I would say to them the same thing I say to the Palestinians who keep flooding my damn Instagram inbox, asking me why I'm not speaking more up for the Palestinians. I don't like what's being done to the Palestinians. It is wrong, and I want justice for them. But I do not have time to cry for brown people and yellow people, because I'm not done crying and fighting for black people. So until my people got justice, later for your problems.
Right. That's how
Yeah, Umar, why don't you take care of your kids?
When I see it, but I start to see that it has effect in our community, even the black community, when some of our brown brothers are getting snatched up.
That's true. And I'm concerned about that.
From black folks that think, man, they're just a shade away from me.
Well, let's remember, what was Abraham Lincoln doing during the Civil War while black people were dying? 210,000 black men, many of whom lost their lives, keeping America a single nation instead of two. I think Donald Trump needs to be reminded of that. But what was President Abraham Lincoln doing at the time of the Civil War? He was negotiating with Mexico. He was negotiating with other countries because Abraham Lincoln did not want black people to remain in this country after the Civil War. He was trying to ship us all out at once at the end of the Civil War. Nobody talks about that. Not even Barack Obama, who claims Abraham Lincoln was his hero. And Barack Obama got...
See, all negative, and he hates Barack Obama. He said some horrible, horrible things about Barack Obama. What's up, Edward? He always talking about some ancient irrelevance. It's true. It's true, though. You're right about that, Captain. That's one thing about Umar. He will be talking about some ancient irrelevant shit.
Sworn into office on the Abraham Lincoln Bible, and here you are in love with the hero who was a white supremacist who was trying to get black people deported out of the very country that we helped to preserve.
You think he knew that? Because you just said
he should have knew that. He's a damn Harvard-trained lawyer.
He should have known. He should have knew that. Okay.
The Obaminati was a disgrace.
Here he go. Here he goes.
The Obaminati was a disgrace.
See, this is all jealousy, and if you listen to Umar, you can tell in his voice, He harbors so much. He's just a hateful person and extremely jealous.
And shame on Al Sharpton for selling us Barack Obama for 8 years, and not once the man and that man do something for black people. Do you know Al Sharpton met with the president of the United States more than any black leader in history? Al Sharpton met with Barack Obama more than Dr. King met with Lyndon Baines Johnson. But the difference, Dr. King came back with 2 laws, and Al Sharpton came back with a perm.
Here you go.
Well, he got something. Black bourgeoisies, coon Illuminati, the Negro elite, the untalented 10th.
See, has he said one thing positive about black people in this whole interview? So far, it's like 25 minutes in. He hasn't said one thing.
The Democratic Party, plantation slaves.
All negative.
Well, this is definitely a funky Friday. I hope you are tuned in. We are here with my brother, Dr. Umar Johnson. His name goes longer than that. I'm not going to play with it.
I was going to see if you was going to try to pronounce it.
I was after him. I let it go. I heard when he said, I heard how wrong I was.
Well, the introduction was a hell of an introduction.
Now, I'm about to legally change my name, though, to Dr. Umar Ifatunde.
He's been saying this for years. He used to be making up shit.
That's my Yoruba name, and it was given to me spiritually through divination. My father's the one who named me Umar Rashad Ibn Abdullah Johnson, right? Shit's too long.
See, that's just him taking a shot at his father. That's him taking a shot at his father. And Umar has threatened to change his name when back in the day several times, but when him and his father had a falling out online. Again, like I said, his father should have never come out and spoke publicly about him. He shouldn't have done that. You guys know I'm not here to defend Umar, but a father should act like a fucking, I'm sorry, I apologize. They should act like a father, regardless of what your child is doing. Act like a father. Have some wisdom. But that's not what Jamal did. And he was wrong for doing that. And it escalated. Umar doxed his daddy too. Anybody remember that, Black Anonymous? Anybody remember that hit the one? He doxed his daddy. And then his followers were going at his daddy, and his daddy does a video trying to whine and complain, but you should have been running your mouth in the first place. Again, Umar was wrong, but you the father. So that's him, Umar taking shots at his daddy. Right, I'm gonna change my. And he told I'm gonna change my name, my name, and because he was mad at his daddy because his daddy was going in on him and went up to the school and called Umar a scammer. I got the receipt. He didn't say scammer. He's, to be more specific, he said what my son is doing, it is considered to be fraud based upon the definition and blah blah blah. Even if he was, you shouldn't come up. You shouldn't be doing that online. You take care of that offline. That's how it should happen. Interesting enough, Jamal took all of his social media down after 2 things happened. Number one, when his granddaughter exposed Jamal because Jamal was trying to shut her up by giving her money. She didn't accept it. But the other thing is that Jamal went on another platform, was talking shit about me, talking about keep my family's name out your mouth. And then he deletes all his social media. Goofy. And then the guy that he went on his platform, the person he went on the platform talking all that shit, that guy is facing federal charges right now. And I think that the minimum sentence, because it's a felony, it's aggravated identity theft, and there's these other charges too. And from what I understand, everything is going to be run. I think it's called concurrent. If I got so back to back to back, if that makes sense. I may have the terminology mixed up. And as a bare minimum for the charge of aggravated identity theft, I think it says something like the minimum is like 3 years, and that would be in federal prison. You see how this shit works? One by one. And I don't mean to be like that, but that's how this works. You have to have integrity. Don't be online causing problems, lying on people, creating false narratives, being messy. You're going to pay the price one way or the other. Is it consecutive? Okay, I got it wrong. I got it backwards. I apologize. Thanks for the correction. It's consecutive, not concurrent. Yeah, so consecutive. So as a bare minimum, I think that for aggravated identity theft, I thought it was something like 3 years, but then all the other charges, that would run consecutive. So ain't no, what I think he's going to plead out. That's what I think. I want to cover, but I don't want to be petty. I don't want to be petty like that. I do, but I'm not gonna. And I shouldn't even laugh. I feel bad for the guy, but that's what happens. See? That's what happens. Anyway, let's keep going here.
My mother named me, I was born Jermaine Shoemake. That's what my mother named me. She named me after Jermaine Jackson because she was in love with Jermaine Jackson. My father couldn't stand Jermaine Jackson, so he gave me the Arab name. So now it's time for the African name.
Okay, what is it going to be?
Ifatunde.
Consecutive
Oguntade. Ifatunde means destiny has returned. Oguntade, Ogun is the spirit of iron in the Yoruba system. And Ogun is the defender of truth. Tade is the crown. Ogun wears the crown.
I got that.
Real quick, I wasn't in the chat room when I asked it. Does anyone remember that? Hit the one.
We're going to come back in just a few minutes to talk to my brother. Keep it locked right here. Don't you go nowhere.
All right. We'll be back, y'all.
I got to ask you, my brother, because
some people remember.
Yes, sir. Rest in peace to D'Angelo.
Yeah.
That broke my heart.
What's up, Sandy?
Yes, sir. He had some hood bangers. Some hood bangers back in the day. When I heard about Brother D'Angelo's passing, the first thought that automatically popped into my head.
Here he go. It's going to be a conspiracy theory. I guarantee it. I guarantee it because he always does that. He's so disrespectful.
Is whether or not his passing had anything at all to do with Sister Angie Stone's death. Because we all know that she transitioned under some very, very mysterious circumstances. You know, being ran over by a rig on the highway.
See this? This guy, I told y'all. What happened? What happened between Umar and his daddy? Is you asking? Yeah, I knew he was going to do that. He always does this.
Going the opposite direction after it crossed over the meridian, a white woman helped out the car, sat her down on the side of the highway.
The meridian? What you talking about?
Highway. White woman goes back to her car, and the next minute, this big truck crosses the meridian, going the opposite direction, and runs Angie Stone over. I mean, how?
And I don't think he's all the way there, but I can tell the difference because if we go back and play the video that we covered yesterday, you can see a huge difference. We can also look at the video at the Danzig report, and you can see a huge difference there too. Yeah.
How likely is that to happen? Right. And she's the only one who died in the whole entourage. And we know she was engaged in a fight for her masters, her publishing, and her unpaid royalties. Right. So was D'Angelo trying to pick up where Angie Stone left off and met his own demise? I don't want to speculate.
But you are speculating. What are you talking about? He had cancer, Umar. This guy's stupid. Did the same thing with Kobe passing. Just so disrespectful. Same thing. When Mike passed, Umar comes up with a conspiracy theory. When Prince passed, it's a conspiracy theory.
Because I need more information, more evidence on the situation. But one thing I learned about black celebrity passings is you don't accept what the media tells you. I do not accept the media narrative on any passing. We know Michael Jackson was murdered because he didn't want to sell his stake in the Beatles catalog.
No. He wasn't murdered. He had substance abuse issues, Umar.
We know Prince was murdered because
didn't I tell y'all?
He didn't want to give up his unpublished music. We know.
No, he had substance abuse issues, Umar. And there's a lot of people who have that, not just entertainers. It ain't got nothing to do with me black or nothing like that. You goofy.
Tupac was murdered because he was politicizing the gang.
No, that's not why Tupac. It was gang shit. That's what it was. I'm from Southern California. It's gang shit. You don't know what you're talking about.
We know that Whitney Houston was murdered because she
had a substance abuse issue, Umar.
Wanted her publishing and her masters back. We know that
Yeah, think of some other shit.
Jimi Hendrix was murdered because
he has substance abuse issues, Umar.
He was financing the Black Panther Party, or at least intending to do so. All of our musicians were executed.
No. I've studied music history. What are you talking about?
by the white power structure of the music industry because they refused to play along. Sam Cooke was murdered because he did not want to go along with the major music label, the first black artist to own his own masters and recordings. So whenever our celebrities die, there's normally more to the story than bad health conditions.
This guy, man, he's so dangerous. So dangerous.
Yeah, and the rumors are already floating around about D'Angelo. This rumor is
Umar ain't worried about that. He trying to eat.
His phone was swiped and something to do with the alarm.
What? His phone was. What are you talking about? I mean, this is. Well, we got to finish.
If D'Angelo's phone was in fact swiped,
right.
If D'Angelo's phone was wiped clear, he was murdered. There's no need to wipe that man's phone clear unless you got to hide something.
What in the world? Let me let this go.
Wow. So why are you in the Boston area? People want to know.
I'm speaking at one of your local universities tonight. I don't want to give the name because the event is not open to the public. It's only open to the African students on that campus.
Man, be petty. Tell all the black people.
Nah, because then they're going to start calling that college and they're going to show up anyway, and it's going to get crazy.
Okay, tell me.
Because I get a lot of love in Boston, but Pastor Christopher Womack.
Now, Umar's just scared because he knows that if higher ups at a college find out that he's coming, they're going to cancel. They're going to force a cancellation. So what Umar does is he targets the younger generation, like the black student unions or the African student unions. He targets them to come in to speak. Okay? He's not going through the upper. I don't know how to phrase that, but Umar knows that. So if people find out that he's going to be, that's why he's always been careful for years. He's careful, and I have a video where he actually talks about this. For years, he's careful not to give the name of the college that he's going to be speaking at until sometimes that day he'll mention it. But by that time, he's already going to be speaking. He's there, and he'll go ahead and go forward. But he won't mention it in advance. He won't even give the time or the location.
Over here, he got to find me a venue. I'm coming back. You know what I mean?
You can tell me. Nobody's listening. Just tell me.
I got to come back to Boston because I ain't been here in 2 years, so I'm overdue. We just got to find a spot.
I think I like that idea of the grassroots conference.
We need it.
And we can start each neighborhood with a grassroots.
We could do the first one in Boston. If y'all ready, we could do the first one in Boston. And I will facilitate it because I'm a neutral party coming from another city.
Okay, we got it.
You feel me?
Okay.
And we got to set the criteria of what it means to be independent. Boom. No white money, no white membership. Period.
Okay.
If it gets white money and white membership, you're not an independent grassroots organization. You got to define the terms.
So we have to structure it before we put it out.
Yes.
So everybody
have an application. They fill it out. Y'all check them out. Yeah, they meet the criteria. They can come to the meet.
So all my white friends that want to give me money, just know, not in this grassroots.
We ain't doing it. See? He ain't learning nothing today.
No, you're not listening.
Tell that snow bunny to keep her quarters.
Hold on. You didn't
we don't want no snow bunny cash.
Hold on. You didn't let me finish. All the white people that want to give me money to perform, I'm going to take it.
Oh, that's different. Okay. That's business for you.
Okay.
That ain't got nothing to do with.
For all the ones for this grassroots, we want to keep it separate because we want it to grow.
Yeah, we don't want no white money.
Yeah, we want it to grow.
We want to be free.
I'm not going to take this call, but
I know you can. You
can take a caller. Take a caller.
I got a question over here.
Okay.
I'll take that call in a second. But someone already sent me a question.
Gotcha.
And the question was...
And white women, stop sending me nude pictures on Instagram, please. I don't date outside my race.
Here he goes. Just all out of the blue. But the picture of the white woman that he posts on an Instagram page, it's actually a screenshot from porn. Someone sent me all that information on that. I ain't gonna say who did it. But what they did was they took they took a screenshot and then they reversed the image search, and it's actually from porn. But Umar act like someone sent them that, and that they were trying to ask him to get with him, a white woman, and then he said, I'll decline, something like that. Yeah, it is. It's reverse psychology because he's done that in the past with black women. He said, don't send me no nude pictures, but he does that to imprint to the subconscious mind that that's what he wants, and there are women that will send it to him. Real talk. He's something else. He's something else.
They're gonna try and change you. They gonna change you. Hold on. They said they wanted to know if you had a comment about Stephen Smith.
Stephen A. Smith and Jasmine Crockett. Okay. My issue with Stephen A., and I like Stephen A. because he does stand up for the people sometimes, but I do not think it is wise or appropriate for black men to publicly castigate and criticize black women in front of white folks.
Look who's talking. We can look at the Zora rant. We can look at the Umar's rant against his baby mamas, his own daughter. We can look at his rant against Lene.
He could have
listen, if I had more time, I will pull up the examples to show people, but we ran out of time.
pulled it to the side, send her a message. We have to uphold our queens by any means necessary. So that's the fault. I'm going to tell you where I agree with what's.
You know what we're going to do, Cook Crush Chat? We're going to pause right here, and tomorrow we're going to pick up right here because I'm going in. 32 at the 32-minute mark. This guy, he has some nerve. Umar, you have some nerve. Yeah, we're gonna get into this tomorrow. I'm pulling up the receipts. 32. We're gonna go to 32-minute mark. See, if I had time, we would do it right now. And I don't want to miss this opportunity to show you how much of a hypocrite Umar is, but also how a lot of his rhetoric, just like when he talks about black people, is negative. Well, when he talks about black women, a lot of it is negative too, especially when they come forward and expose him for the predator that he is. Okay, so we're gonna get into that tomorrow. All right. Thank you guys, everyone inside the Cook Crush Chat for tuning on. Let me just check to see if there's any more super chats that I didn't get to. Yeah, here we go. User Duty5 says, you remember how black people like kung fu films back in the day? Yeah. That's basically what anime is like for the new generation, except much more global. Okay, I got it. Yeah, I never got into anime. The closest thing I got into anime was Robotech and Transformers from back in the day. That's the closest. But my son's generation and even younger, they're really into that. I mean, they watch. They got all these different shows and stuff, and it's a lot more advanced than from what I remember. Baby, yeah? You didn't get to, James to help you? No, I'm fine. Okay. Thank you, user 225. I appreciate it. Okay, and I'm gonna play. We'll play California Love to close out. Okay, I don't know if we got to 800 or not, but that's okay, y'all. I don't want to be greedy. Thank you, Tippity Tappity. Fannet Pitts says he can't continue with this much longer too. Oh yeah, no, I agree with that. And I'm even from my own personal experience of getting up there in age, it's just not sustainable. I think it hasn't been sustainable, and I've seen a drop off anywhere with Umar. But when I saw the video where he walks on stage, I saw this today. It's just the first part of it where he walks on stage. It's a short video, actually. He gets up there and it's like an introduction. And I can just tell even how he's walking, he's labored just in walking. So all that fits into, even him getting up there, pretending like he's doing stuff at FDMG. That's a task for this guy. Now, would it be a task for me? No, because physically I'm in good health. Like I can get up and do stuff. That's not a problem. But at my age, at any point, okay, it could be the last day. Listen, when you get older, this is the truth. And you see people like D'Angelo pass, and then people pass suddenly, and they're around your age. It can happen at any given point. But with Umar, his health is such that it's very difficult for him to just walk around. So there's no way that he can continue to do this indefinitely. It's impossible. It's impossible. Thank you for the super chat. I appreciate it. Seth also says all pro-blacks are lackluster historians and lecturers with no aircraft carriers, no submarines or space stations, or drones or cool stories. Just cool stories. Yeah, it's true. I remember one time, real quick, just to feed into this, when Umar said that they were going to for these FDMG buildings, they were going to build an observatory on the roof to look at the surfaces of planets. And I said, this guy, he's so out there. He's so out there. Right? Meanwhile, he doesn't even know how to clean a toilet. Okay, crazy. Thank you, Seth. Cool story. And he does. Umar has some cool stories that he can tell, that's for sure. All right, Leopold says Umar's unfettered rhetoric is dangerous. No, I agree. And it's dangerous for many different reasons. And unfortunately, there are a lot of people who just buy into it. And sometimes what people have to do is just fact check Umar. Fact check him, because he brings up all kinds of stuff and he says stuff. It's just he doesn't give any sources or anything like that. Scholars, he's supposed to be a scholar, right? Well, that's what a scholar would do. He's not scholar. He's not public scholar. He no scholarly journals or anything like that. He's not a scholar, but he claims to be one. If he was one, he would also be providing sources. In his books, no source material whatsoever. That's crazy, right? Now, it's different if you want to give an opinion. Okay, that's fine. Now, I've done that. So, okay, is it necessary to source? No, because it's just my opinion. But if you're claiming to be a scholar and you're trying to present yourself as such, and you're a doctor of psychology and you have 6 degrees, blah, 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 you should have some source material inside of these books, especially if you're dealing with children's lives like that. That's crazy, right? Thanks, Umar's unfettered, Leopold, for the super chat. Appreciate it. What's up, Chavis? I haven't seen you in a while. Hope you're doing all right. Says Umar looks like a Timu version of Al Borland from Home Improvement. What? Greetings, Lenon in the cook chat. Al Borland. There wasn't any black people in that. Oh, that guy. No, he don't. Oh, you talking because of the plaid. All right. I was about to say, there ain't no black people in that. Yeah. Yeah, I remember that show. I used to watch this. I had a crush on the mama. Okay. I don't know why, but she was cute to me when I was a kid. Okay. Let me see what was her name too. Patricia Richardson. Yeah, her name was Jill. Yeah. How old is she now, too? See if I have a chance. Let me stop. She's probably like 90 years old. All right, thanks, Chavis, for the super chat. I appreciate it. Hope you're doing well, too, bro. And then Lizzie says, wow, I haven't heard anybody name drop Robotech in decades. Shout out for that. Yeah, I used to watch Robotech. I was more into Transformers than Robotech, but I watched Robotech. I would also say that what was that called? With the lions that would combine Voltron. That was kind of early anime too, from back in the day. I used to love that. That was one of my favorites. I used to go back and forth between G.I. Joe, Transformers. What was it I just said? Oh, Thundercats. That was anime too. Thundercats. I used to love Thundercats. And then whatever I just said, I can't remember now. Anyway, thank you, Lizzie. Now I'm really dating myself. That's a long time ago. Thank you for super. Okay, thanks everyone who sent in super chats. Also, thanks everyone inside the Cookie Crush chat. I do have something I got to get done, but what we'll do tomorrow is we'll come back right here at the 32-minute mark of this video, and then I'm going to pull some receipts to give an example of, Umar, he's such a hypocrite. He's telling black people that we shouldn't be castigating or chastising black women online in front of quote unquote white people, but Umar has a history of that. I'm going to give you guys some riveting examples of that tomorrow. All right. Okay, thank you guys again. Let's do the California Love, if y'all don't mind. I haven't played this in such a long time. Here we go.
Bells about a bell, California dreaming. And we step in this bed, that nigga who's screaming. Get it from money and alcohol, the feed of the best five balls and jump up and the body, the body, the rhythm died. The college, the champion. That's right. What we do. He's a low man. Like a slow jam. It's West Side, so you know that I'm bad down to no man. To the man, put it up, bomb beat from Dre. To the root of the leg. From Oakland to West Side. The back down.
There you go.
Show me love.
Show me love.
Inside about it. West Side.
Wow. Yeah, I remember the GoBots. Yeah, you right about that. That was for the brokies. The cartoon was broke and the little toys was broke too. Just brokies. I remember that. Yep. Okay, thank you all so much. I hope you enjoyed the show. Also, thanks everyone who hit that like button. Also, did I close out the poll? Let me close out this poll. We had 1,753 votes during this live stream. When Umar Johnson speaks about black people, what percentage of Umar Johnson's rhetoric is negative? 6% said 25%, 12% said 50% of his rhetoric is negative, 39% said 75% of his rhetoric is negative, and 42% said 100% of his rhetoric is negative. Now, in the video that we just watched, 100% of it was up to that point, up to the 32-minute mark, was all negative. So something for people to think about. All right. Let me close that poll so it's archived here inside the chat room. Cookie Crush Chats Undefeated. Please enjoy the rest of your evening, and we'll be back tomorrow with another live stream. We'll pick up where we left off, and I'm going to pull some receipts. All right. Thanks again to everyone who sent in super chats. If you send in cash up to PayPal, thank you so much. Also, thanks to the mods for handling business. I appreciate y'all, and I love y'all. Everybody inside the Cookie Crush Chat. See you tomorrow. Take care. Peace.